inspires you in terms of this being a team that can make it through.
No, it really hasn't. And a lot of their issues, I feel like, this season have been down to just not having a set drop spot. It seems like they're going here.
Oj, 7 minuta i majku
Used to
jebe.
seeing from people
Radule,
like Koji and
pozdrav
Thomas.
Muksić, pozdrav Ciki, pozdrav Pero.
Right, this is our home, this is our fortress, we will fight to defend it, and they'll try and learn their strategies throughout the entire season. We haven't seen that this season. We've seen these guys trying to land over towards the Grim Gate area. We've seen them now landing at Mount Olympus today as well. They've been landing at Lavish a little bit here and there. Even to qualify to today, yesterday in the lower bracket, they were landing towards that Grim Gate area, even towards where actually landing. What are their strategies? And I'm excited to see what they can do today, because this is really where it starts to get crunch time for them, because as we saw on the stats, they're two very, very talented and experienced players. They deserve to be in Grands.
Well, hopefully we can see them find a formula that works, because I cannot imagine a grand finals without either of these two players. And I can't imagine anyone else calling the European action than our two commentators, Takata and Jacob, and they're here to talk you through the semi-finals format.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Yes, as a reminder, to get here today, we did go through 2 weeks of qualifiers where players qualified either to the upper bracket or lower bracket of the semifinals. So if we take a look at the format, we're on day 2 of semifinals now. Yesterday was day 1 where 5 duos qualified directly to the grand finals in their match. Now the top 20 duos on that leaderboard, which didn't get a victory royale, are competing here today once again in the upper bracket, and they're joined by the top
Od irske Eurovizije neka im Bog oprosti, nisam vidio ništa, brate. Šta je bilo sa Sevidžom? Šta je bilo sa Sevidžom? Ajde da pičku materiju. Tiho, crkneš, brate.
That was a yes, guys. They were still in the spawn area and they did not survive our spawn. That was a very obvious no for the prediction. Hello?
Ne znam, Radule, šta je bilo. Gde si guli, čoveče?
Chat, the prediction wasn't do they win the first 50-50 of spawn. The prediction was do they survive of spawn. They were in the spawn area and they died. They did not survive.
Stani, brate. Ko je počistio Sevidža i Mongrala prvi game? Jebe, ti što kočiš. Ovaj! Au! Da li moguće, brate, jeba?
Surely you can't hear him through the headphones, right?
Jeba, brate.
Yeah, well, team's gonna now realize, hey, we probably should have WK'd a little more instead of playing full placement yesterday. So.
Ima naših i u lower i u upper bracketu, da znate.
Just as stacked as what it was yesterday, pretty much. So, do you think Chap is cheating? No. Chap. Here's a reminder. When you ask Boop, is X cheating? My answer is either no.
Da vidimo šta radi Real sa
don't care.
Nottingham Forest Chelsea 1-1, dobro.
The same two answers. Either no or I don't care. I would never
3-0
answer that question
u
as a
raspad
yes.
sistema, dobro. Real vodi 1-0. Real vodi 1-0. Fran Garcia.
And directly won a game. Go VOD reviewers game. I'll give you $1,000 if you see something that's sus there.
Dobro.
He won the game with 7 kills in total. Cheating all of a sudden isn't gonna be the reason why he fucking did, bro.
Their plan was to try and take sort of those.
Am I cheating? I would never cheat. Except on my fucking math test in like 7th grade, bro. Maybe then. You got a 7-kill win, man. And all the kills were pretty much in late game, like... That game was the last
Gledaj,
game of
DM,
NA,
kakav
was a
tiket
dead
sam
game,
sastavio
and
dok
they
što
had
si
Grim
2
going
mjeseca
to
nisi
take
igrao
height,
ništa.
that's it.
Daj da vidim. Daj da vidim, brate.
What more do you want at that point, you know? I'm importing to my cheater.
Dobro.
Oh my god.
Cats,
Yeah,
Cats.
maybe, bro. You should.
Dobro.
Actually, she's probably dead by now.
Manchester United rasela dvojka. Au, a si ga tu, a? Čekaš dvojku, brate, čekaš dvojku. Au. Svašta je tu moguće, brate. Svašta je tu moguće. Ja bi igrao dvojku. Ja bi igrao dvojku iz inata, brate. I znaš. Da će Bog, brate.
What the fuck is a Swedish test? You build a fucking IKEA desk and you're done? I'm like, what? What the fuck is that, man? Why would you even need a Swedish test? Just to speak English, man. It's not that hard. Nah, that's crazy. Sorry, man. That's racist. It's fine. It's not racist. It's efficiency. That's a life skill that you need even outside of Sweden, bro. The ability to build IKEA furniture is actually, it's actually hard.
Vraćam se za sekundu.
That shit is not fucking, that is not easy to do, building IKEA furniture. There's a bunch of little wooden things and a bunch of steps and little bald men on the pictures. Like, fuck, dude. I dread the days that I have to build stuff for my IKEA furniture. It's so awful. It's actually the worst. Alright, game 1 starts now for FTS. Let's go. Alright, so this is Chiefs and Turtle versus Marius. And Marius is already taking first blood up against Turtle here. I've been outside today, me too. I spent like an hour outside tanning. Sitting in the garden, chilling on the grass, just taking in the sun. It was great. I feel so good. Only con Marius? I mean, Marius hasn't been like the best team to be at this spawn fight, if I'm being honest, man. They've been good, but they're not like they're not fully a team that many teams I feel like will be scared of spawn here. They've been kind of mediocre. They've been losing to some bad teams as well, pretty much. So, all right, Mongo Savage will spawn round number 2. Zanny not going Grims. Zanny did make lower bracket. Upper bracket, sorry. Zanny got like bottom 30, bottom 20. So he didn't make it in. So Malabuka is only going to be conned by cheating and Kairu today.
I got full shield. Come up. I got minis for you.
Oh god. Is there anything worse than getting attack AR and the DMR off your first chest?
We're not fighting first, buddies. Two teams.
I like this.
Šta je ovo njima drugi game?
Savage upper bracket? Nope.
Pozdrav Rankog.
Teeny is also uncontested.
Drugi, a? Dobro.
The problem is there's nothing in this area. This whole tunnel got fucked. Oh, they got 2 shotguns. I mean, they can third party this now. There's a shotgun, you should call it the Savage.
Šta oni nisu landali tamo ili jesu?
They just stole his shotgun?
Jeli oni nisu landali tamo ili
I
jesu?
like this better. I'd rather have a mediocre game than trying to...
Zašto on kaže, evo tek su sad našli shotgun? Kao mogli bi da pušaju. Znači neko im lendo tamo. Oni koji su juče bili top 30 u lower bracketu, danas su u upper bracketu. Danas su u upperu. A ovi ostali igraju dalje. I ovi su ispali iz uppera u lower i svi igraju opet zajedno danas. I opet se ide u upper i lower za sutra.
Now we got the main broadcast bit, let's take it there. Lobbies there? Of lower bracket? I think
Što ga ubi, ostao mu 15 health. I ubi ga ovaj kroz prozor. 1v1 su. Oh, XV is dead.
And XV's and Buzz take out Tucson Karmi in the first game of upper bracket. Cheeps is hiding underneath Underworld, running away from Marius.
Joxy desi, brat.
Fully uncontested as well. Finn is uncontested. Marius is running around. He already got his first elimination, as we saw. And Moneymaker is also uncontested with Hydro and Huddy. Also uncon? They were meant to be conned at Lavish here, but I guess they're not for now. 2v1s. Guys, you guys need to learn the definition of a 2v1. One guy, after you get hit for like 80, finishing you and your duo is not really a 2v1.
Kreće game 1 upper bracket, Trulex Chicho, Quizy Thomas.
Gate, Merstash Malabuka, contested by Cheatin and Kiduo. So a lot of the big names here are going to be having one of the battles on
Mali
spawn.
Buća
And just like I was mentioning,
ubija
Malibuka
čiti neki
Merstash
do.
looks like they might just
Mali
start off
Buća
strong
ubija
today.
čiti
This is
neki
a
do.
huge switch up from what we've seen yesterday. And for a number of reasons, they're ready to 50-50 that top chest. They're ready to kind of put it all on the line. And then there's a few less teams around Grim Gates. At least one point yesterday, we saw 7, 8,
tek
almost
Vizilenda
20%
ako ne
of the
gleda
lobby
ovdje.
floating around Grim Gates. But when you have
Stani
teams like
Kvizi u
Donacije and
aperu,
Suprim
tek
that
Vizilenda,
qualify
brat.
out of this, even though they don't necessarily land directly there, it puts less pressure on Malibuka Merstash, a
Ovo je
feeling of
replay.
flexibility, and you can see it right here, just planning
Endo
accordingly,
pusti,
knowing that team is
dobro.
going to drop down on those barrels.
Oh yeah, this is
Evo
night
ga,
and day
evo ga, evo
from
su.
yesterday in the upper
Evo
bracket.
su.
There's still potential third parties surrounding them,
Evo
but
su, evo
not
su.
being triple
Odmah se
con,
vraća.
coming out on top off the start, unlike yesterday, where I believe the first 2, maybe even 3 games, they basically got eliminated off the rip. So good start for Merstash Malibuka. Can they get a VR though? That's the main question. Thomas HD Queasy at Mount Olympus. I'm curious to see exactly how they play this out. They have been kind of switching their drop throughout the season, like Minimanor was going through earlier on, so we'll see how they're able to play it here. But for Howley and Frizzy, they've also got themselves in a little engagement, making use of that bush bomb though.
Yeah, it's Andelix and Sato on the other side, and right now they just have a huge advantage. Getting to expend all the builds, just try to maintain that elevation. While one fight's going down, you see Yanis and Flixie on the other side, getting a couple eliminations in the feed, but you can see Howley, no ammo in his gatekeeper. He's stuck to just maybe a clip in the Harbinger SMG. The longer this fight goes, the more of a nightmare it is going to become, because all of the floor loot, everything has already been given up, and he finds some ammo given away from his teammate, I do believe, and now that's going to give him the confidence to continue to go on this chase.
Looking to see if they can find an angle here. Andalex is going to get knocked. And Frizzy Howley now, upper hand in this engagement. Sato left alone, forced to pop a big pot. Has chug splashes. Has what he needs to recuperate a bit of HP, but you never want to be in a 1 versus 2, especially in the semifinals where all the players here are veterans of Fortnite competitive. So Sato has decided to kind of back off a little bit.
Yeah, there is a launch pad towards the back he could potentially use to try to stay alive, but Howley and Frizzy know there's only X amount of options you can take to try to disengage off of this spot, and the more common one is towards the back because of that launch pad. Some loot down there as well, but you can see Nefrizzy and Howley knows that this player did not launch pad away, so only 2 assumptions is maybe he swam, but they see him towards the side. Sato gets, I think, DMR tagged up. And this is going to give him the 2v1 opportunity. Another shot can be fired from above on from Howley. And eventually the turn and burn comes in. Sato goes down. Andelix falls in game 1. And a huge boost of confidence for Howley and Frizzy.
Great way to start off the match. Keep that momentum going is what they need to do here. Taking a look though. Engagement after engagement. We've got a dangerous start to the semifinals here. It's going to be Axe Force and Clownski who have the advantage in this one.
It's a lot of early game fights. Not necessarily what we saw in game 1 to start the day yesterday. A little bit more slow paced. Storm Surge forcing a lot of the action. I think being able to watch the VODs, some teams coming from the lower bracket, Axe Force, Clownski, not backing down. They know it's an isolated fight on the side out away from Mount Olympus, so it's going to be an easy 2 eliminations for them. And just judging by the loadout, the only thing that they're really lacking is maybe some shields and the rest of the material. So great start for them to get off with those Surge to start the game.
Taking a look at Janice Flixie, like mentioned earlier, coming from the lower bracket yesterday, now in uppers with that opportunity, that chance to make it directly to the grand finals, and starting off with a couple eliminations. I mean, that's a good way to go, Jacob. I wouldn't be mad with that. Reckless Railways as well. Incredible amount of loot. And pretty centered on the map, so opportunity for Surge bases, opportunity for those Storm Surge tags. We saw how stacked the first match of uppers was yesterday. So getting that damage early on is crucial.
No, it definitely is. As the day went on, we saw Storm Surge kind of activate later and later on in some of these games, but as it stands now, you know, Storm Surge won't necessarily turn on until Zone 4, so a lot of the teams are trying to be proactive, get their Storm Surge numbers up while they can. Meanwhile, Pink and Vico, one of the most consistent teams we've seen all season in terms of placement, in terms of the leaderboard. But what they lack, Takata, is the ability to get the wins. Throughout this FNCS, the qualifiers, they've only managed 1 win so far. And I kind of asked you, does that scare you in a situation like this where it's win and you're in? Or you're kind of calm, cool, collected, knowing they'll eventually get in by Sunday?
I mean, I'm totally calm, to be honest. This duo, like you said, has been, I would say, the most consistent duo in the upper bracket so far. Their playstyle is low ground, and the duos that are winning these matches are duos that play high ground. Cammy and Seti in the qualifiers spent over 1,200 seconds on the high ground, and Pink and Vico, 90 seconds. Like, literally 10 times less than Cammy and Seti. So they're not really high ground players, but they're consistent, and once they make it to grand finals, which I believe they'll do through consistency. I mean, I think they could even win a game, to be honest, but if not, they'll do it through consistency 100%. And once that happens, grand finals is where they'll show their true potential.
Yeah, so I think we're in agreement. So if you guys are fans of Pink and Vico, almost nothing to worry about, but we might revisit this conversation come Sunday, later half of the upper bracket, or even the lowers if things still don't go their way. Tayson and Veno. Tayson yesterday, a massive 1v2 against the Major 1 champs, taking down both Malibuka and
Miloš, znaš ko je
Merstash.
Miloš koji ti bio možda 300 suba? Da, naravno, znam.
The leaderboard to advance to upper bracket round 2.
Video sam box, naravno, brate.
But I kind of expected them to get a win yesterday. Did not have to play the rest of the weekend, and I want to see that type of potential coming out of them today.
Teeny and Chat looking like they got the forecast tower here. Also, quick reminder, we are watching the upper bracket, but lower bracket is being played out at the same time, and there's players like Mongrel and Mr. Savage competing there. If they don't make upper bracket today, that's it for the rest of the lower bracket duos. So luckily enough, the players here do have more chances to get the victory round directly to the grand finals or get top 20 on the leaderboard.
Mislim, brate, da je otišlo u krevet, da je već pola 8, brate.
So even if you don't get that VR, it's important to get points. You talked about Merstash and Malibuka. They basically qualified through the consistency on the leaderboard in their last match where they got top 3. Without that, they would have been in lower bracket. So let's see if Chap and Teeny, who came from that lower bracket, and it's their first day in upper bracket, can show us what they're really made of.
Oni pušaju upper bracket. Daj neku predikciju. Aj, sljedeći game. Samo da završim, čekam ovamo nešto, završim na Discordu. Brate, gledam Discord sve vreme.
But Demus and Serene just not backing down out of this fight. And they're even creating more space because they know if this comes prolonged, space is going to be key. Teeny is just getting bounced around. Chap just gets his shields drained off again. A lot of those healing resources being used before they can even break in and get any damage on this fight.
Dashes, you can see.
Da, to sam danas video da je streamao 4 gejma i nije uradio ništa i ugasio i vinao. Brate, pa ti meni kaži da je to realno, brate. Ti meni kaži da je to slučajno, da je to normalno. Ti meni kaži to, brate.
What I'm trying to figure out here is, I don't think this engagement is necessarily for eliminations. They have a forecast tower. They have an advantage for playing that late game, but what they don't have is, one, a lot of materials, but not enough damage. So hopefully, from this engagement, they can kind of take some pop shots and do a bit more. But if not, and they don't see much opportunity from it, they might just look at their surroundings.
Yeah, with how long this fight took, it's almost a necessary play with any teams third-partying in. We saw a lot of third, even fourth parties throughout different stages of the game. Some build fights, some for bunkers, even some coming for forecast towers. So they're trying to think ahead. And coming from the lower bracket, that's almost going to be a necessity. Seeing how a lot of these teams played yesterday in these set lobbies. What are the rotations like? What risk are they taking? And we're seeing a risk already coming out from Queasy and Thomas. Stagger themselves in the zone towards Mount Olympus, and that's hoping that they can get a least congested side when they finally begin to rotate out. You see the launch pad there, you see the Flowberry Fizz in the inventory, so it's going to be very, very easy for them to cover the distance needed to get into zone.
All they need is that win, Jacob. All they need is that win. If they can get 6 med kits in the inventory, hold on to them for the late game.
Vendis, pozdrav, Lukex, pozdrav, brate.
Playing the long run here. Making use, like you said,
Thomas Quiz,
trying to get more of a non-congested side. However, they will have to do damage. They were contested off the start. No eliminations to their name, but I'm sure they took a bit of tags, got a bit of damage as well. So it should be good for the moment. Marius has gone down, one of our duos that were here competing yesterday in the upper bracket. Didn't make it to the grand finals, but qualified once again to day 2 uppers.
You noticed that though, right? Sanguild
Ljudi, gotov je prvi game u loweru, a? Šta su uradili Andis i Vaske?
Well, he's a solo. The medallion gives a rough estimate of where you're at on the map. So he rotated one direction, dropped the medallion, so they probably think he's still over there, and then quickly turns around, uses the dashes he's getting from the river sticks to go ahead and try to cover distance. And this is going to be the key for him, because they don't know exactly where he's at now. And if he
Sad ćemo da idemo da vidimo, samo da uploadam neki screenshot.
I hope so. I honestly hope so. That would be good. TikTok star Marius, Vico and Pink now.
Andis 2 game-a, 12 poena, ne valja.
Kind of center area of the map, making their surge bases. We talked about it yesterday. Bush bombs, incredibly useful. You can put it right on top of your surge base, and it's much more difficult to land shots on your opponent up there, because you kind of just have to take a guess to where they might be shooting from inside the bush. You can peek a lot more openly.
A little bit different of a sky base though than we typically see with the cones, switching things up. Just some half-edited floors, give him more line of sight with the bush bomb that you were talking about. But he's separated right now with the zone moving in. Veno is going to have to start his footwork to reunite with Tayson. And then you have a team like Vico and Pink watching everybody rotating in very slow to the backside of the zone. Multiple players have already been spotted out. And Pink and Vico don't even have their own safety spot in towards the zone themselves. They got a few more steps to cover, but they're just staggering themselves as long as possible because they know how important this surge is. This is a team that consistently placed in the top of the leaderboard yesterday, but failed to get a win. And you got to think some of that was because of how in shambles they were.
Vaske umro prvi, vidjet ćemo sad. Jesu živi svi naši? Valjda jesu. Vidio sam sad Kvizija, a ne znam šta je s Trulexom i sa Čićom. Ne znam da li su ih prikazali, brate. Pričamo za upper bracket. A za lower bracket sad ćemo da vidimo tabelu i da znamo. Ne znam šta rade levi i over. Malo im je falilo sinoć, 15 poena za upper bracket. 15 poena, brate.
Yeah.
And it's very important to have kind of that game plan of what you're
going
to do
in the mid-game
to get that
dobro,
damage.
realno je, brate. Ono, baš je realno, brate. Nema tu mnogo njih, se malo buće. Merstaša i Kvizija i Tomasa koji su u nekoj konkurenciji sad sa njim. U ovom lobiju. Mislim, ima, evo, i Svizi Vanjak, brate, ima tu. Šta im radiše, brate? Lanci i katanci! Au, lanci i katanci, brate. Napali ga ko mutevi. Da misliš ko vina danas? Ne znam. Jebeno je, brate. I dalje je jebeno. Ima mnogo lepih timova i dobrih timova, brate. Mislim da vinaju Trulex Čićo, Deni i Čap, možda se desi čak i Kvizi da vina. Šta znam, brate? To je to.
Bro couldn't even land a shot. That was insane. Moppy Kiro, on the other hand, no chain, but they do have.
Bitno je samo meni da Mongral i Savage ostanu tamo gde jesu, brate. To je najbitnije. Da, Veno Tyson, bravo. Big fino igra, da. Da. Evo ga Tomas. Kvizi je umro, Kvizi je umro, ljudi.
Has gone down. Thomas is left as a solo. No eliminations. Most likely gonna need to do quite a significant amount of damage
danas u granice ide 5 njih
this late in the match is incredibly difficult.
Za pobedu. 5 njih za pobedu, isto kao juče, sve isto kao juče. Ne znam, Joksi.
Use the rifts or even this underworld dash, that could be an opportunity for Thomas to go, and he's just trying to get closer and closer in towards the zone. Has an escape plan there with the zip line up to Rift Island, giving himself options, giving himself choices. It's actually just up to the bridge, not a lot of height, but at least you can see that Thomas is trying to plan for the future, knowing that there is going to be a huge strength in numbers, and getting Easy back is going to be hard. But if he can somehow make that happen, it's going to be so fruitful for the rest of their game. And as I said, zone pulling far away, so this is going to be a great chance for Thomas.
Lower,
Looking at the Rift Island.
Ma vidio sam Uksis
Big
danas,
cluster of
umro sam od
players.
smeha.
Either boxing up on the Rift
Robin
for
Yu
rotations
prvi u
further on,
loweru.
or even just going on top of the Rift Island to reform a bit of mats and potentially
Krisi
use
Skvi
the
prvi
launch
game
pad
8
later.
sa 3.28 su.
Hasten and Veno.
Jure povratak u
Curious to
upper
see how
bracket.
their loadout is looking.
Out
Very
mu
healthy
Yandis 2
in terms of
game-a,
basically everything.
12 poena.
Although they have
Miša
no
Luša
eliminations,
8
we saw
poena.
how they had kind of the
Grali
surge bases
Sević
set up.
katastrofa.
So I'm sure they have more than enough damage here and a bit more flexibility on how they
Levi
can
over
rotate the
1
zone.
game, 4 poena. Mora
Yeah,
bolje.
it's just about making it past this far pool.
Mora
You see the
bolje.
mini-map alone, there's about 4 teams nearby, one going
Mora
back, and
bolje.
Taysom's
Ja ne
getting
vidim
tagged
basketa,
up
ljudi.
every step of the way.
Evo su.
And this is going to be tough.
Prvi game 43, 0 poena. Dobro,
If
oni
they're
su
trying to save a lot of
oni
their
su u
heals, they
drugom
do have the
gameu,
legendary
brate.
banana flowberry
Oni su
fizz to cover
duboko
some
u drugom
distance, but
gameu.
at this stage in the game, they want to shy
Oni su
away from
duboko,
using it
duboko u drugom
very,
gameu. Oni
very
će sada
early.
ga završi.
As Mustache Malabuka finally getting a chance here off of spawn. Yesterday was just a rough day with the amount
Šteta
of
ovde
teams landing
Kvizi
over towards
umro,
Grim
brate.
Gates.
Šteta.
And this is going to be a perfect scenario. Only one team actually contested them. They took that fight with ease very, very early on.
Aki
They
se
were able to
tako i
get all
treba,
the
aki
loot
se.
they wanted from Grim Gates. And now look at the zone. You still see Grim Gates just at the outskirts. They haven't
Tako i
had to
treba.
travel far. So this could be a perfect
Da li će
scenario for
Tomas,
Malabuka
brate,
Mustache
dode
to
da
win a game
rebuta? Evo
here
su
and
pored
watch and wait the
Trulex
rest
i
of the weekend
Čičo.
to see who their
Evo su
competition's gonna be.
Trulex i Čičo.
Just 25 above though, so they are going to be
Da
looking around.
pucaš,
Good news is,
prekini
though, you
više.
can see how many players there are close to them.
Valjda
With
će
only
da ga
12 above, I mean,
pogodiš.
they're kind of running it a bit close here
Da li će da rebuta ovaj? Da li je
Replay
živ
of
u
what
stvari
happened.
Tomas, brate?
in the underworld.
Otišao je
Wow,
Sangil,
Sankit was just trying to get out. We saw him before
a
by
to
himself.
znači
no
da je
Marius in
otišao i
sight.
Marius.
They finally
Big
spotted
pozdrav.
him down, tracked him as a solo.
Ne znam ko vi ne
Got that
pecije s ove
elimination with
sezone
ease
zato
as we
što
jump
je
on
mnogo
board Jansen
zajebano.
Flixi, who's
Ali se iskreno
honestly gonna have
nadam
to
da
rotate
to
almost
urade
all
Trulex i
game
Čičo.
long from Reckless Railways
Iskreno
to
se
all the way
nadam
to
da
the
to
west,
urade
thinking it was gonna be
Trulex i
safe,
Čičo.
but now it pulls a
Ma
little
da,
bit
oni
inward.
napadaju baš
Their
njih,
drop
jebem
rotation
vam
isn't done just yet,
familiju!
but Mustache and Malabuka down on surge.
Napadaju
They have no way to
Trulexa
go,
i
but inside
Čiča.
of another team's box. Both of them taking damage from
Oni
surge.
baš
Malabuka trying to break
napadaju
his way in. He
Trulex i
takes a monster
Čiča.
of a shot himself, but it's going to be a sacrifice. They now find themselves 44 above the
Udri ih,
damage
udri ih,
threshold.
majku
The focus
im
now
jebem
comes
baš
in
zbog
from the
toga.
lobby. Mustache trying to make space for
Udri
himself
ih,
and his teammates,
svi u
but
njih,
it's just
brate.
not stopping. It's not slowing down anytime soon, so a lot of builds. You can see most of Mustache's metal is going to be
Trulex
used
i
just to
Čičo
try to stay
živi.
alive in this situation.
So much pressure is being put onto them. They do not even have time to recuperate the shield that they have lost. But the good
Trulex
news
i
is now
Čičo
I think they
živi.
get a little
2 su ovi above, opet će
bit
da
to
pušaju,
breathe.
brate.
Issue is only 2
Opet
above
će da
at any
pušaju,
moment
brate.
now. They could go below the storm surge threshold once again and be forced to aggressively look for that damage. And look at that, 9 below. It's time now. Pressure is on. What choice are they going to make here?
Ishilali su
All
se,
in
brate,
once
i
again.
30 su
Just
bilo.
try and take some shots from afar. All it's going to really be is a couple tags.
Yeah, it gets a little frustrating. Knowing it's
O,
just one
uleću.
tag, one shot.
Uleću, mali
They
Buć je
quickly
dead.
turn around, they spot out another team.
Mali
They
Buć
try
je
to
dead,
go
ubio ga Kiro.
again into the box, but Mustache loses Malabuka this time around, but finally finds the down body. Saves it for now.
On će da
But
ga
does
digne.
any team notice that he's going for the revive and try to disrupt it? I'm not sure with how stacked this top side of the zone
Oni
is.
će da ga
Anybody has a
digne,
chance
brate,
to even
bez
look in that
problema
direction.
će da ga
Trulex,
digne,
Čičo,
brate.
Fire
Kad bi
Pro,
se
Hero,
nekom od
everybody
naših ovo
just having a
desilo.
little bit of distraction
Ajmo,
going down,
Truli.
just trying to stay alive right above
Ajmo,
Malabuka
Truli.
Mustache. Just got a successful revive on.
Šta bi, brate?
I don't know how they're still on their
Šta
feet,
bi
but
nešto iskoči, brate?
that other
Kod koga?
duo
Kod mene? Sandar donira $100 i kaže, wow, ne znam šta je
They're
napisao, brate.
safe once again, but for
Ne
how
znam šta je
long? They have
napisao,
3 big
brate
pots that they
moj.
really need to
Čekaj
make
da vidim,
something
ne mogu
happen.
ni da vidim.
107 above, so
Ne
not
vidim
as much of
mutno,
an
brate.
urgency to get that
Mala
damage,
slova,
but
majku
at
mu
this
jebe.
point, they're gonna need to refresh.
Yeah, you can see
Au,
finally the
hvala
heals coming
Ksandar,
out.
ljubite,
A
brat.
lot of materials
Ne vidim
being
šta je
spended for
napisao.
that lobby focus. A lot of the heals being
Bog ti
used
pomogo,
now
pozdrav
because of that
Miloše.
fight, but you can
Bog
see
ti
when it comes to
pomogo,
the
Miki.
damage, they did what they needed to do. They got
Ajmo, Truli.
105 above the damage threshold. That's a success.
Ksandar,
in that
hvala,
case.
brate, za
But it's all
donaciju.
about keeping the
Ne znam šta
momentum
si
alive and
napisao,
stretching
ljubite,
one
brate.
success into another.
Pozdrav je
There's
napisao,
29
veliki
teams still
pozdrav
left in this lobby.
za
Placement
legendu
points have not
Ksandara.
begun to come in yet. It's a marathon, not a race on the day.
Nije
Clowns
Guli,
the
nije.
Axe Force. Another duo that's having a bit of trouble here.
Ode
White.
Clown.
Luckily enough, he finds a big crack, but it's not going to be enough to get the knockdown. Ends up going down himself. Axe Force left alone.
Teni ubija Šamokija.
Is just one shot away from getting eliminated though. Unable to connect it. Vortex with the 180 shot. 7th elimination to his name.
18 kelta, 7 kilova ima. 7 kilova ima Vortex.
Big elimination by Vortex staying alive. The turn burn takes
Teni
him down.
samo nestade, učini mi se da je Teni nestao. Kako ide
Kako
ovo FNCS? Teško bre, brate. Teni mi samo nestao sa ekrana, brate. Da li je umro, ne znam. Teško bre, Ksandar. Hvala ti za donaciju, brate.
This is where we've seen Pink and Vico find a lot of their struggles. It's this point in the game. They use a lot of their resources, a lot of their material just to continue to make it from 7th zone on. So a big impact
ubija
refresh,
nekoga,
anything
nisam
is
vidio
going to
koga.
be huge, and it's going to be necessary to keep them going in this game.
Čić ubija Demuša. Čić ubija Demuša.
Early getting his toes back into zone as his opponents were shooting him from multiple different angles, but Flowberry Fizz is going to be the savior here, recuperating all that shield that was lost during the rotate. Medkit as well to get that HP back. Not too far away from zone. They're also one of the closer duos if you had a time to look at the mini-map, so it's not an incredibly far rotate. In terms of high ground, looks like Tace and Benno are a bit high up. Issue is, they are not even close to
Pancer
the
ubija
8 zone, so they
Čića,
have to rotate
ne,
to the
brat.
opposite side of the map here.
Čić umro.
So
Da,
we saw
Miloš,
that as well.
FNCS, brate.
A fight for the high ground, things going perfectly until just
Čić
one
je umro,
disastrous
ljudi.
moment. Everything comes crashing
Kvizi
down.
nije živ.
They lost a
Možda ga
1v2
rebooto,
to the
ali ja
backside
ne
zone
znam.
from the chain of Hades while getting focused. So Tayson and Venno just trying to go for the height. And you see they're just building straight up with that Flowberry Fizz so that way they can eventually dash to the front side of zone and maintain their position as Tayson finally makes his way there, gets his spot in towards zone. Instead of going straight for height, he's just trying to position himself in front of everybody else so him and Venno can
Merstaš
look back
ubija
and get the shots
Serena.
that they want.
Lovely rotation, even finding
Merstaš 20
knocked
helta.
player down below to recuperate a bit of that material that they use.
Au,
on the rotate.
Janis
Merstaš,
ubija
though, in
Tysona i
danger,
Venno je dead.
forced to pop a banana.
Tyson i
Should be
Venno
able to
dead.
heal himself back up to 100 HP and now pop the Flowberry if he wants to get a bit of shield as
Merstaš
well.
ubija
So
Kira.
many players are in the surrounding area though. They have to be careful here. Engagements need to finish quickly as they continue to kind of pickaxe their way closer and closer. I believe it's Janis on that wall.
You have to be careful. There's not a lot of heals.
Boga mi,
not a lot
Janis
of
i Flixi
material,
mogu da
so
vinaju.
almost a high ground play is out of the question, but they do have the Grimgate
A,
dash
u Ciki,
medallion.
brate, da li si
So they
normalan.
could get out of a tight spot when they need it. Janis, Flixi, they're just trying to charge up, get ready for this next rotation, and another time we see Vanyak and
Trulex je
Swizzy,
živ.
another team overtaking
Trulex
the
je
high
živ,
ground.
vidio
One
sam.
thing that we've learned throughout these
Gde
qualifiers
si,
is
Veki,
you take
gde
it
si,
too soon
legendo?
with the
Pozdrav,
Flowberry
Pajko.
Fizz, with the dashes, that everything could come crashing down at a moment's notice.
If you're able to get high enough though, and you're connected to enough structures, we've seen duos hold on to it as well.
Boga mi, Svizi,
during-
Vanjak, velika šansa.
From first moving zone.
Pa evo prvi game,
Will
Pajko.
Vanyak and Swizzy be
Radule,
one of
dobar
those? They
sam,
have
brate.
more than enough materials for these initial zones. Depending if it keeps pulling far or maybe even pulls back to them. There's a great opportunity though to get those tags. They're already 500 above, so not too much of an issue, but could potentially even find some eliminations. Malibuka and Merstash choosing to stay more ahead. They do have to be careful though. They use so many materials getting to this late game that they will need to find a refresh quicker than other duos.
Yeah, multiple teams just trying to get aggressive from different angles. They were low on materials before, and now they're almost fresh out. Malbuka trying to hold the wall 700 above the damage threshold. The fight isn't
Janis i
necessary
Flixi
as they
u dobroj
trade on over the
poziciji
dash to give
da
3
vinaju
each,
takođe na
trying to
haju
prepare themselves for the end game. Janis,
Vanjak.
Flixi, they continue to stay ahead of the curve in front of the zone.
Boga
They're
mi,
knocking on
ovi,
the door.
brate,
Malbuka
pobiše
and
sve pred
Merstash,
sobom.
Fanzir, El Teensy, they're
Ode
getting aggressive,
Merstaš, ode
catching
Merstaš.
multiple players off guard, and that's what happens in an
Ode
end game that
Merstaš,
is
brate.
this chaotic. It
Top
takes just
16.
1 second of lapse of judgment to catch you off guard.
Merstash
Mali
gone down.
Buća nema
Malibuka left as a
ništa,
solo
brat.
now. No heals to
Apsolutno
work with,
ništa.
no builds to work with. Has to find any sort of refresh here. Top 16
Mali
already.
Buća nema
Better
apsolutno
start than
ništa.
day one, so anything
Kako će
counts
preživi, ne
here.
znam.
Shots unable to connect.
Udario je
Dash is
Nefrizušu,
being
jako
put to good
ubio ga
use.
Nefrizušu.
Just one more shot and Malibu
Vanjak
goes
i
down.
Svizi
Vanjak, Swizzy
vinaju
still up
ovo.
above.
Ja ne znam da li je Trulex živ, ne vidim ga. Vanjak i Svizi ili Flixi i Janis.
Swizzy looking strong. Nobody has a chance to look up just yet. You even see Flixie trying to regenerate some of the health before he becomes a target. And this is the portion of the game where Vanjak and Swizzy have
Viku i
nothing to
Pink,
do
brate.
but look down
Nisu ni
and
oni
put
loši.
pressure on the rest
Ali
of the
nemaju
lobby.
killove.
Even if they don't
Nemaju
get the
killove.
eliminations, forcing teams to battle each
Nula
other,
buildova,
take each
teško.
other out is the next
Nula
best thing.
buildova, našli Fizz.
Taking Vico once again, looking to
Trulek
dominate
solo,
low ground.
Trulek
Not a
solo
lot
i
of
ubija ga
materials, so
Pink.
too many choices
Pink
either.
je ubio Truleksa.
Still on Peace King down below. Vico now
Dobar
finds
game
another
Truleksa,
one.
dobar
That's clear
game.
on the board. He
Bar
lost his
poeni
two
za
partners,
upper
though.
bracket.
Pink is down. Just
Bar
20 HP to
poeni
work
za
with. As
upper
Minis has
bracket,
flow berries,
brate.
but he needs time
Ako
to
ništa.
be able to use them. Box is coming through. Pressure from above. Not too many options here.
Strale, desi
Yeah, he
strale.
tried to separate himself with that layer change, but he gets focused by high
Pixie
ground,
ubija
forced into the
Pancera.
water, taken out and run over by another team. Flixie by himself. Anything is possible. He does have the legendary banana and multiple splashes if it does come down to a heal off, but forced in the storm sooner than what he wanted. Staggers, uses the only banana, but this is his chance to get a flank.
Ah,
A sneak attack
krca,
onto
krca,
somebody,
krca.
but instead he looks towards height. Everything
Dobar
goes
Strale,
crashing down.
dobar, brat.
This is a chance for him to get more eliminations from the backside of the zone.
Both players have been dropped. They had the Flowberry activated though, so they did not get eliminated to fall damage. Tree in the way, chop it down, Timber. Vanjak continuing.
Boga mi top 4, jebeno. Janis je dead, Flix je solo.
For something here.
Yeah, those extra materials could be the difference, but Flexi is not done just
Da li
yet.
ima
Finds another
opoperi?
elimination,
Nema.
a good amount of loot,
Ode.
follows at the perfect time, doesn't get a chance to
Ode.
use it.
Kraj,
That's
vinaj.
gonna be Swizzy who takes him out.
Rekao sam na
Goes after
početku,
Zohan,
brate, i
prevents
Swizzy
the
i Vanjak
heal
su
off, and
jedni od
game
favorita.
one of day two of the
Rekao sam na
EUF
početku
NCS,
gejma kad ste
Swizzy
pitali,
and his teammate take the
rekao sam
game
Swizzy i
over.
Vanjak su takođe jedni od favorita i evo, brate. Evo granci, brate. I evo grand finale za njih, ljudi.
Semi-finals, and they say, you know what? We didn't hold it once yesterday. We're gonna hold it from first zone. We're gonna hold it second zone, third zone. Hold it every
Pajko,
single
banovat ću te,
moving
brate.
zone onto
Ajmo
the
mi da
last
vidimo
one
tabelu.
to secure that victory royale and
Ajmo
their
mi da
spot
vidimo
in the
tabelu
EUF
i da
NCS
pustimo
Grand
Bupa, da vidimo on gleda Savage-a sigurno. Da, on gleda
The end
Savage.
of a PV's win this game is a no.
Da vidimo mi šta je uradio Vaske u onom game. Robin Vispen prvi, Robin Ju drugi, Ju cheater, Ricky Zara četvrti, Purčava Veksi šesti. Ovo je lower bracket na ekranu sad. Ovo je lower bracket. Scrap Skrill 14, TJK 15,
All these other teams are like fully expecting
Chris
to make
Kvi,
it
oni
to
su
grands. They
duboko
all
u
know.
game. Chris Kvi, oni su
And
duboko
Vico,
u
yeah.
game.
If Vico qualifies to
Asa
win,
Marko 33,
he can
CZB Nathan
he can bet your ass
32,
he's fucking shooting his heart
Heni
out.
Vaske 6 sa
Like
2.
guaranteed.
Heni Vaske 6 sa 2, nije loš
Ryzen was
game.
doing it for content. I don't think he cares
48.
that much, you know? Realistically, if you think about it,
Čiće
he
od
probably make
lanca.
grands regardless, 'cause, yeah,
Ajde
so-
Miloše. Ajde Miloše, važi. Hvala što si svratio. Važi Miloše.
In the moment, it's like, fuck yeah,
Heni
he
Vaske
grands,
ljudi
so.
6 sa 2, 48 poena, nije to loše. Nije to
Alright, let's check
loše.
the leaderboard real quick, 'cause
Nisu
we
loše
missed a
prošli
few
u tom
teams
gameu.
there in upper bracket, so we see how teams
Levi
go.
over
So
2
really
gejma,
nice win this
22
game.
poena.
Giannis and Flixie looking
28
pretty
sa
damn good.
1 i
Rank
23
first,
sa
I
3.
think Avalo
Nije
and
loše.
Finn, Trash and Zohan, Vico Pink with a good game.
Super,
But could have
Pajko,
been better,
super.
for sure. Alex Scott and Rick,
E,
Holly Nefris,
ajmo
Jokic,
na
versus Malibuka.
upper bracket
10th
da
place
vidimo
with 16
tabelu.
with 16th place with 5 eliminations in total.
Znamo svi zivanja
First
hvala
and
li
final,
grance.
not anywhere to be found
Janis
that
i
game,
Flixi
21st
su
with one
prvi po
elimination.
poenima,
Versus
LTZ
Chicho,
Pancer
also
drugi,
didn't see too much of them in Chapter
Vico
Cini.
Pink 6, Alex
Under
Scott
expecting,
7,
obviously, but it's only been one game
Hauli
so far, so
Neprizuša
they have to
8,
settle in.
Jarko i Darkis
But,
9, Merstaš Mali Buća
Not easy to
10,
win a game, even after yesterday,
Trulex
you know?
je 17.
You still gotta do well.
32
You still gotta get
poena.
surge, the games are
Veno i
stacked.
Tyson su 20,
I have them,
14
yeah,
poena.
I have them, thank you.
Čapi Teni 26,
Queasy died to someone camping in bushes, and Thomas died because he got chased by Shamaki. Nice.
Kvizi 36 sa 0 poena. Čuli ste šta je rekao čovjek. Kviz je umro jer je neko kempao, a Tomasa je jurio Smoky i ubio ga. Čuli ste sve. Čuli ste. Vidite šta se dešava. Zašto neće, brate? Šta je? Ja ne vidim Andiza, brate. Nisam vidio Andiza. Zar nije Smoky onaj iz Azije? Nije. Nisam vidio Andiza ljudi u lower bracketu, idem da se vratim da vidim, brate. Evo su, 12 poena iz 2. Duboko su u game. Duboko su u game. Ja koliko znam Svizije Rus, brate. Real 3-0, tako i treba, brate. Ja koliko znam, brate, Svizije Rus. Viš ti kako je umro, brate, oni su kempali. Da bre, oni su Rusi, bre. Evo ga Šamoki. Rus sigurno. A Rus, brate, šta ti je? Kaka crna Azija, brate. Valjda će Kvizi da uradi nešto. Znam, Muksić, znam, brate, vidio sam. A zašto ovo se dešava, brate, kod bupa, non stop? Kilova imaju ovi. Gledaj, 360. 2 kila imaju. 22 poena, to je ništa.
On the start kill again.
Let's go. Oh man. You have a sniper or what?
I don't know.
I think so.
Team West.
60.
Maybe.
It's easy. On the hill.
60.
Nice, bro.
Listen, go to Piazza, force in front of the west team. Go in front of the west team. You're gonna knock them for sure.
Yep.
Go in front of them, you know where some pulls.
You already have 650 damage.
Yeah, but go in front of them. You don't want them to be in front. You know where zone pulls, there's no point to stay there.
Be careful, because that east team dropped down from that hill. Can be in Piazza now.
Džabe vam coach kad vam ne ide, brate.
West, close, on the road.
Yeah.
Cut in front of them.
Bro, I'm getting shot by north, my god. This big face. 50.
Nice. Careful behind.
One pulls back in.
Yeah, pulls in, you're fine.
Ne znam koliko ga plaćaju, ali ga plaćaju sigurno mnogo.
Hey, you can go in Piazza then. Go on clock.
Ma Veki, razumem te, brate, ali ne bi ja mogao da igram Fortnite profesionalno, a da nemam rezultate, brate, i samo da mi je boli kurac za subove i za preglede. Razumeš? Ne bi ja to mogao, brate. Ja bi onda otišao da budem content kreator, ne bi bio pro player, brate.
Need to go up on clock tower and scout for me while I'm farming.
Yeah.
Be quick. Do you know where the best brick in Piazza is, bud?
Pa on sebe ne smatra kao content kreatorom, on sebe smatra kao jednim od najboljih igrača, brate, Fortnite-a. Razumeš?
I think he has a sniper. On start kill.
Ovako ih gledaju svi jer se trude, ali ne idem, brate, ne uspevaju ništa. Prošle sezone ništa, ove sezone ne mogu da se izvuku iz lower bracketa, brate. Ne, Bladex je pametan, brate, ali nema on psihologiju koliko sam ja vidio, brate. Bladex je pametan i zna on sve i zna sve on šta treba. Ali nema on psihologiju da ih nahajpa, brate, da oni urade nešto. A u suštini ne treba, brate, on je plaćen da ih coacha za Fortnite, a ne da ih hajpa, brate. Tako da oni, što kažeš, nemaju energiju, brate, uopšte nemaju energiju, brate, da pokrenu da bude bolje, brate. Njega boli kurac, razumeš? Znaš, prvi put, stvarno što kaže, brate, Jorgovan, prvi put, brate moj, kad ne bi igrali kup, ja ga ne bi gledao više nikad. Razumeš?
Shooting.
Prvi put, brate, ja
You can
ne bi
start
ga
running
gledao
soon.
uopšte.
Again, don't show that you're leaving.
Kad
Wait
bi
for the
igrao,
smoke to
ne
build, now
znam,
you edit
lupam,
down, you go up
brate,
back, and then you go east down to the
grindo
fucking
nešto bez
beach,
veze, brate.
and then you go north. Yeah. I would go down. Going Sage. Don't show yourself to the north team. Go east.
Are we not
down on
waiting
the
10
beach.
seconds for zone?
No. You need to dip anyway.
And we have fizz, so.
You can always come back here anyway. There's no one here.
Cover these wood
They're
boxes.
close to the right now. You're out of time. Yeah. Okay.
Good
There's a
stock.
bush here as well.
Pulls
Okay,
left.
pulls back. Go
Come
back then. Go back.
Fizzing us.
Za malo. Za malo da popiju snajp. Za malo da
We're just going
popiju
out to the
snajp.
next zone now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be right above green as well.
There's a team in front here though. Mark the team, Mongrel. You know where they are. You know where they are from
Over
last
here.
time. Yeah, mark that. Just go more west. Go.
We're not wrapping it.
Yeah, they're still over there. Yeah, you go more west and then north. Because the team can see you on the north. Keep going north now.
Breaking through this, I'm gonna fizz us.
Ne znam, Pajko.
Remember, you need to be on the inside of the other circle. You're too much left.
Oh, you
Ma
took
šta
one in the slow west and
pričaš,
north.
bre, brate, da su tu
Yeah,
much
but
left.
look at the circle.
Pa
You're
treba da
outside of the circle.
zaobiđu, da ne prime damage pa da uđu.
Team north in front of you.
Majko moja. Baš su lepo krenuli, brate.
Get dash
Dash.
and go to the bridge.
My 5 seconds blind, by the way.
Pa vidim ja gdje je zona, sve to meni
Problem
jasno,
base.
brate, sve to okej. Al brate, zašto im
Ima
kažem da su otišli mnogo levo, kad treba da izbegnu tim koji je
Ima.
ondje u onim buildovima,
Why are
brate.
you on this side?
But we're fine here. So. Doesn't all need to be perfect. We have like 800-900 damage as well.
Šta se dešava u Aperu, brate, boli me kurac za njih. Boli me baš
It's much
kurac za
earlier
njih.
on
Evo ga
in the
Thomas.
match, so
Šta je?
it definitely makes things easier.
Šta je?
Yeah, there's a chance that you can kind of wait it out, let them go for the medallion. That's when you make your move to at least get Queasy back. One side of the map to the next.
Bili Queasy.
Vico. Kind of calm, cool, collected game plan
Zar over
going
nije bio
in.
40 neki juče? Jeste,
Last
brate, ali top
major,
30
I felt
hvala.
like their
A
off-spawn
oni bili
battles were
40.
much more
15
of
poena
a
im
battle
falilo.
between Kiro and Kuduo for that forecast tower. Even the drop spot
E,
this time around,
predikcije, brate.
they have a much better chance off spawn, which is why
Ljudi, predikcije.
consistency. Because yesterday, every game, I think maybe but one was won by
2
an
minuta za
uncontested team.
predikcije
When
za
you're
ovaj game u
uncontested, you know
upper
as well as I
bracketu.
do, you can get your
Idemo
loot, get your
predikcije
material,
na
get your
Tulex i
rotation,
Čića.
and then start the hunt for the
2
positioning in
minuta
which you
imate,
get
kreće
surge.
sad.
And Pink and Vico have this portion of the game
Izvolite
down the
predikciju
rocks.
četvrtu.
Once again, just like yesterday, moving towards Mount Olympus, probably going to go on top of the statue just so they get the best line of sight to try to use them DMRs to get surge.
I evo su Teni i Čap. Eno su
My favorite part of
Teni i
being
Čap u
uncontested is you can just
pozadini.
focus on your route, right? Whether it be your loot path in the early game, maximizing efficiency, or how you're going to get tags in the mid game, where you're going to base up, or you're going to look for those tags. And like you said, being uncontested opens up the opportunity to just
Gde si,
kind of
Ado,
replicate
gde si, doktore?
that studied strategy, game on time and time again. If you're contested, you never really know when you're going to get done with that engagement or what path is going to get blocked off. Looks like Merstash and Malibuka, though, although they didn't get eliminations off the bat here, they still
Oh,
should
čiti
be
ni
able to
kido
get the
Steve.
medallion and mythic loot, but be careful.
Čiti ni
I do
kido
see
iza
Kiro
leđa,
and
čiti
Cheating
ni
close
kido
by.
iza leđa.
Will they hop on them here?
Looks like they did close the distance rather quickly. Even a couple other teams around Grimgate starting to turn their heads in this direction.
4-0 real.
Cheating right above Malibuka and Merstash just
Da,
trying to
lendaju
make sure that
kako
they have
su.
the entirety of that base underneath their control.
Ovi
you
ubiše
can see that
X-Force za malo,
elevation
gotov je.
already paying off tenfold for
Gotov je.
Pink and Vico. Great
Gotov je,
examples of how they're
brate.
getting their
Au.
surge, and just two well-placed shots with the DMR is going to take down Axe-Force.
Wow.
Au.
Sleep. Great shots from Vico here.
Gde si, Amzi?
Axe Force's duo, though. Sanguild, I believe, did get away earlier on, so
It's going to be a kind of Thomas HD type of game here for Sandguild, where he's going to have to play slow and see if he can get the reboot later on. But for Vico and Pink, on top of Mount Olympus, already got one elimination, opportunity to get more damage. I mean, they're feeling pretty comfortable, I'd say.
Yeah, especially since they have the line of sight. They can see anybody, including if anybody goes for that reboot card of Axe Force. But from the underworld side of the map, Marius is getting active yet again. Picking up both of those eliminations with the help of Sandguild. And you can see this time around, they didn't even try to stay for that medallion or the Mythic Harbinger SMG out from Underworld. Teams kind of use that to track, at least find your location and kind of figure out where you're at. So it's going to be a great adjustment for Marius and Sandguild just to worry about Storm Surge and rotation from here on out without anybody knowing where they're at.
That's the positives of being in that Underworld, having the River of Styx close by. You don't need the medallion to get those dashes replenished. We can see how they actually ended up securing these 2 eliminations. It was pretty stress-free, to be honest. Both players having good angles. Flixi Yanis looking good, to be honest, by the Reckless Railways.
Thomas je umro, ljudi. Quizy Thomas dead.
This is their first shot at actually qualifying to the Grand Finals. So hopefully they can continue the momentum we saw from game 1 and make something happen here.
Yeah, already they're looking like they're on fire. 2-0 off spawn against their opponents, getting all of Reckless Railways to themselves. And by the time they're ready, after they loot up to kind of rotate on out, find another spot, they see the zone is kind of pulling in, staying around towards Reckless Railways. They're making this decision to cut back, scrap together whatever they want. You see them picking up the water bending ability, even dropping it. So you see like who they trust more to get that damage before rotating back over towards Reckless Railways, where they're going to try to position themselves with the base so they can get surge.
Evo kako su ubili Thomasa.
Uh-oh.
Thomas išao da rebuta.
This is not looking good, Jacob. From playing as a solo, trying to find the reboot on Queasy to now getting eliminated once again.
Evo, idem da vidim.
Coming from lower brackets, not the best season for Thomas HD and Queasy so far, but anything's still possible. It's just day 2. This is the upper bracket, so even if you are not to qualify today, you have another opportunity tomorrow, whether it be in uppers or lowers. Unlike the lower bracket, where if you don't make it through today, you are gone. Your FNCS is over. So Vico and Pink choosing to stay here on Mount Olympus still.
That's what I like about this team. We already talked about how aggressive they are. They have like a combined 90 eliminations throughout the qualifiers. Very, very even in damage. That's about this team. Vico has about 53. Pink has 37. But their damage is right there toe-to-toe because they're always next to each other. They're always on the same page, especially in those box fights where they excel and a lot of their strength is. And which is why you see them making it so far in a lot of these games for the consistency on that placement. But from a team that's been consistent to a team that dominated the lower bracket yesterday, they proved they could pick up wins in these semifinals formats. It's all about executing here where it matters most. Lower bracket didn't have that win and you're in situation. It's the upper bracket in which they're playing in now, and they already have 2 eliminations off spawn.
Confidence is what we saw from Kimi and Chap in the lower bracket. But like you said, Jacob, they don't need to farm a bunch of eliminations or points here. It can be useful to secure their spot. But what all they need is to win one of the matches. Hero Moppy looking to get a bit aggressive here. Close to Classy Courts. They might not even want to go fully in here committing. But any sort of damage could be beneficial.
Šta je ovo, brat?
Especially to see they don't really have an elimination just yet. There's a lot of space on the low ground for Hero and Mappy to move around and see them kind of stalemating it out, but Mappy just goes for a shot. No damage being dealt to either one of these players, so it's just going to be noise being made for now. Nobody is even going to rotate towards this side of the map. You see Classy Courts towards the north. The zone is pulling down towards the south. So there's going to be a lot of time for both of these teams to decide what they want to do. And as I say that, immediately a decision is going to be made for the disengage to happen.
You don't want to waste time. Every moment of the game is important, whether it be looking for damage, looting, or just getting yourself in a position to be best set up for the rotates later on. Depending if you want to be on a more congested side to open up opportunities to get that damage, or if you want to be on a more congested side where you just want to stay alive and not use a lot of materials or shields.
40 timova živo.
Especially if you have a lot of faith in your end game, your mid game, where you don't really have to put it all on the line for early eliminations. This is a team that has found a little bit of consistency, at least throughout the day yesterday. They just need to figure out a way to replicate that here today. And you see them moving closer and closer to one of the bunkers that has just
Mnogo, brate,
opened up.
ste
And there's
vidjeli
already
Kvizjev
one
tweet, ono je
player,
strašno, brate.
Lunex, just kind of floating around,
Ono je
possibly trying to sneak
strašno,
some
brate.
attacks here.
Little split up from his duo. Maybe they'll get caught off guard, but for Marius and Sandgilt, they already put themselves in more of a risky situation here with the loot they have, though, and already the 2 eliminations.
To je
Also
grifanje
knowing
na
how
max,
confident
brate.
they are mechanically. They should be able to hold their ground. Issue is being inside the zone. It always puts that little bit of pressure on your shoulders. You don't want to spend too much time here. You're constantly taking HP as time goes on. Being close to Grimgate, though, they have the river of sticks. They have those dashes they can get just from dipping their toes in the water. So it's not the worst position you could be in.
I must say, I did see Marius with the Mythic Harbinger
Ciao,
SMG.
Mimi, ciao.
If he has the Underworld Medallion as well, he can get siphoned in situations like this, try to save as much of the resources. You see he only has 4 splashes. If they don't have any bananas or medkits, a lot of those splashes are going to be expended almost instantly. And as I say it, he gets blessed with a couple of bandages along the way. And Sandgild's going to go ahead, find themselves a spot, safety and zone before they have to move forward again, which isn't too far. You see the zone in the mini-map. There's not a lot of distance to cover from one point to the next, but there is a couple of teams floating around that will try to gatekeep your way out.
Gotta be careful in these moments of the game here. You can't really afford to lose all of your shields here, commit to a very risky engagement. Benno and Tayson have been doing a great job of playing it safely here and just getting tags from afar. They've been getting to the late game without any eliminations, but with more than enough damage. That's one of the benefits of having a drop spot that's so centered on the map. But if you're not centered, sometimes you just have to commit to those eliminations exactly as Kiro and Moppy have done here.
Yeah, another find for them. That's going to help their loot. They weren't necessarily in a bad position before, but this helps them tenfold. If you kind of look at their games yesterday, they had a 3rd, a 5th, even an 8th place. So they have the recipe to make it far into these games. It's just about executing for that win. You can see where they're picking up that elimination onto Lunex. They were sneaking up on him. They knew he was a solo. So not only is that points for the elimination, that's one step closer to placement points.
Brate. I mislim da on krije neku taktiku ili nešto. Mislim da se on sprema, brate, za granice, za major na kraju godine. Pošto je kvalo. I njega boli kurac, ali jebi ga, ne bi trebao ove granice, ovdje su pare. Ovdje su pare da propušta, brate. On je kvalo major na kraju godine.
Especially if a team can get aggressive at a moment's notice. He's just trying to get the rest of this loot for himself. There's a couple extra med kits there. Even if you don't need it at this point in time, you want control of it just in case that time comes. 42 above. It's a feeling of comfortability for now, but at the same time in the back of their minds with how this FNCS has been going, they know they do need to do more damage eventually. And with so many teams on top of Rift Island, you might see them try to go towards the outskirts, go on the side, and try to take some shots downward from above of any team that might not see it coming.
To be fair, there's not as many duos on the Rift Island in this match as there was in previous ones. There is quite a few, but none in the surrounding area. Here we've got Kurama and his duo partner. They're crouched up, so I'm trying to think if their opponents know. I feel like they must know they're there. Now they do, definitely. It's Cringe and Jake Guka. And they're going straight in once again with the double chain of Hades combo. Will it work again, though, Jacob?
Jake Boots are dead.
Let's kind of stagger himself. I don't even know if Kidua saw him. He had that perfect piece over the top, but he's going to try to hunker down, stay alive. There's another team that's beginning to rotate out in the distance that they're hoping is a little bit distraction, but they're creating more and more separation. So that hopeful distraction going out the window. So a full focus now can be had onto Cringe.
Ovi nemaju ništa luta, gledaj ovo.
All the way
Nema healova nikakvih.
Towards fencing fields and their journey to the zone. Doesn't stop here because they got
Prvi
another
game
far
vinali Svizi i Vanjak.
Back-to-back fars, not a fun
Ovo je
position to
drugi.
be in. Cringe, though, also in a position I would not like being in here. Especially it being a 1 versus 2. Chain of Hades knocking on your door. Run towards the zone or find a way out here. Kiddo cheating, doing anything they can to hunt down their prey. They have to be careful, like you said. There are duos in the surrounding areas looking at them as they rotate in, so they do not
Nadamo
want to
se,
spend a lot of
Lošmi,
time here,
nadamo se.
as it looks like the rotation will start coming in.
Yeah, I think that was a smart decision. Can't risk it all. You already have damage, you have builds, you have a great loadout. Staggering yourself so far back in zone, especially with another team begins to focus in that direction, would have been a decision they regret. So they immediately think to try to extend and get some distance from another portion of the map. You're seeing the struggles continue for Malabuka and Merstash. Even with the Grim Gate loot, they find themselves below the damage threshold, with the only team in sight right now is Howley and Frizzy. There are a couple more littered towards the outskirts and even one just ahead of them in zone.
Loot-wise, they're looking quite healthy, but in general, they could have a bit more HP and shields.
126
Being
su bilo,
126
brate.
below,
Ništa ne valja. Jao, gledaj
it's going to cause
zonu.
them to use up a lot of the loot they have right now, alongside their materials.
Samo
Similar
ukucaš
situation to what
RD
happened in last
crtica
game
live.
is just happening earlier on
Samo
now.
ukucaš RD
They have some of the
crtica
best
live.
weapons
Ništa
and fighting
drugo, brate.
potential in the game right now.
Moraju da fajtaju, moraju da fajtaju.
And that's exactly why they're going to capitalize on it and look for some eliminations.
Yeah, they instantly know they can't out-heal. About 20 players need to go down, and Merstash and Malabuka go in.
Ubiše ih, brate, 200 su above. Ubiše ih, brate, gdje si, bro? Ubiše ih, brate, jebem ti lanci i katanci. I lanci i katanci, brate, si vidio, a?
Just landed haymaker after haymaker with that gate.
I evo, above su, brate.
Team off guard from down surge now in a much better
Nisu
position
mnogo, ali
than they
su
were
above,
just
brate.
moments ago.
Smoky
Nasty
53
combo
below.
from the duo, putting themselves back in the game.
5 snajper je dead.
As
34
Smoky and
timaš
we are
bivo.
looking to do the same. Rift Island, now more players, both below and on it. As they continue to look for a right-hand peek here, just a shot. The issue is their opponents know that they're losing HP and shield, that they've been cracked, they heard it, and they have no reason to peek them. 167 above, they just do not want to let them do damage. They can literally just wait this out until either they directly go in their box or they just get knocked down and eliminated and they get a bit of free loot.
Yeah, Smoky's already down. I think that was Fire Hunter, aka Various, bro, with a huge flank. And you can see the opportune time. They didn't even get the elimination, but they go in, steal away some of that loot. There's the X squeeze and Buzz 10 below the damage threshold. Even though zone is moving in, they have multiple rotation options from the rifts to the launch pad on top of Rift Island. So they're making the decision to stagger themselves and try to get as much surge as possible.
Čić ubio Kidova. Čić ubio Kidova, dobro je. Čuo sam su bili malo pred drugi u game-u, igrali se već.
Being 12 below as well does not make anything better.
120 su above.
Launch pad is what they can use, but luckily enough, it has gone to 119 above. They have a bit more time. Although quickly enough, the duos that have already rotated are going to be looking back at zone now.
Svi Zivanjak vinali prvi game. Eno su Čić i Trulex. Jao, na glavu im idu Merstaš i ovaj. Merstaš i mali buća skaču na glavu ponovo Trulexu, brate. I imaju mrtve lance, brate. Jao, eno skaču im na glavu, sad sam vidio, brate. Venu ubio Demuša.
Along with the duo, 69 above the damage threshold. Instead of fighting for it, they know it's a short rotation towards the left side of the zone. They're going to try to make their way first and then worry about the surge afterwards. They get momentarily separated. And that's all it takes is one moment like this for a duo to go down or at least get taken down as a solo.
Jeste, Vendis, jeste.
Merstash and Malabuka, although they got that refresh,
12
still low on shield as they are below the storm surge threshold. They're going to be forced to use this flowberry just to recuperate all their shield and not even save it for the rotations. 128 below, it's a significant amount. A headshot snipe could be a savior here if Merstash is able to land his shot. They can get tags from afar. I believe Malabuka might have a DMR in his inventory, but if not, this is going to be really tough.
Yeah, they got a lot of options when it comes to getting the damage from a distance, but they still have to make their way into zone. Quickly find themselves moving up a few layers because they don't want to get stuck on that mess that is the low ground. Baiting out a sniper. Nobody's
Ne
really
radi na
taken that
fonu,
bait.
pa ne radi.
131 below. Mustache and Malibuka, if they don't start landing these shots from a distance with the sniper and DMR, we're going to see them in the same position as game one, where they have no choice but to try to bake their way in the box. And right now, it does look like Veno and Tayson are their focus.
That is not a box I'd want to jump in. Malibuka now drop down to 39 shield. Use a chug splash to get back up. As Mustache is still low. A regroup could be beneficial here. As Mustache, though, looks like he might have just found enough. Full elimination on the board. Puts them 97 above.
Mustache je ubio Astrala.
On the bright side of the threshold here.
Nema više srđa. Trenutno nema srđa.
That was Astral that went down towards the side, but another far. Max pull from Malibuka and Mustache, and most of the lobby as well, but you can see the medallion being passed around. More than enough flow berry fizz to kind of give them the utility needed to dash from one place to the next with ease. It's all about timing here for Malibuka and Mustache, so they don't get tagged up out of the sky. But you can see they're still looking around, gathering the information. In the back of their mind, they still have Storm Surge as a threat.
Treba ovo sve izrotirat, brate moj.
HP and shield. Flowberry buff as well. This rotation should be quite simple, but they might just want to get a bit aggressive during it.
Oh,
they do have to be careful. They are fighting. Veno and Tayson here. Drop down 23 above. They are landing tags though. The good part of having this medallion is you can afford kind of getting pushed back in zone a little bit. As with those dashes, you can get in so much quicker than your opponents.
Oni su bili pored.
And while everybody else
ne vidim Trulex I Čića, oni bili pored, brate.
Many of those dashes, if any at all, they're going to be able to kind of dash or change that medallion around just to replenish as many of the dashes. But once they again find themselves below the damage threshold,
eno su napred Trulex I Čića. Marius gotov. Joj, za malo umri, majke, ti ga nabijem u pičku.
Keeping their run alive, but they don't really have a
Kasper ubio malog buć. Archkill ubio Cringe-a. Viko je dead. Viko je dead. Top 20. Pink je dead. I Viko I Pink su dead.
But it looks like Pink and Vico, the next duo to go down. Now Veno Tayson capitalizing on that.
Marius ubio Pirosa. Brate, s 15 helta ga ubio.
As now the loot has been split up. Marius and Sanghild, 5 elims so far.
Desi mele.
A great match for this duo currently.
Ace, pozdrav Ace.
Various bro and very up from the clouds trying to get ahead.
Gledaj ga, oporavio se. Ali je Sanghild dead. Marius je uzo kill, ali brate nema ništa. Merstaš ubio još jednog. Merstaš nalazi brate loot. Veno I Tyson izgledaju dobro. Veno I Tyson izgledaju dobro. 600 above. Top 16 ljudi. Trsaju Kaspera, uzimaju loot. Čiću I Trulex, evo su ovdje prvi. Čiću I Trulex prvi s leve strane, rotiraju, super. Merstaš je solo, Merstaš uleće, ne. Merstaš uleće neko s leđa, opa.
If we see an insane clutch.
Yeah, he is just taking shields after
Marius
shields. So many players, but the medallions go down. Somebody else.
Ode Marius, top 12.
It's going to be Fire Hunter that's trying to make a last-ditch effort here. Velry's already down, running out of builds very quickly, trying to make a name for himself and pick up this huge solo impact points.
Tyson I Veno na haju, Trulex I Čićo ispod.
Tayson and Veno from low ground elevated themselves up to height. Now all they need to do is hold on here. Yanis Flixi.
Veno razvali, brate, Janisa I Flixija. Veno razvali Janisa I Flixija. Teni je pored Trulex I Čića. Teni pored Trulex I Čića, Trulex dead. Kurama ubio Trulexa. Čićo je solo. Ten izgleda još živ, jebote. Top 7. Merstaš još živ. Merstaš još živ. Pozdrav Marex.
Much better game for him in Malibuka.
Čićo umro. Čićo umro od zone 5, ja mislim. Čićo mislim da je umro 5. Vidi ovaj šta radi. Leti I puca, brat. Brat leti i puca, samo uleće, gledaj ga. I umro, brat. Vinaju Tyson i Veno. Vinaju Tyson i Veno lagano, brat.
Raining bullets as Veno drops down, looking to clean it up. Cleanup crew has been called. All they need is that one elimination.
Urama ubio, brate, mamu mu jebem Trulek se i živje.
Can he do it? The 1 versus 2.
Možeš kurac.
1% odds, 99% faith. Has that last med kit.
Kurčina, bato.
I do see the dash medallion though. He should be able to make it back in here, but Veno and Tyson both with 200 effective HP and shield. Two players just waiting.
Otvorio offer od 3K gemu i dobio Mullera, svaka ti čast, brat. Svaka ti čast, ja danas otvorio brdo i dobio kurac. Brdo sam ofera dobio i ništa. Ništa, brat.
He had to run into the Titans on the high ground that have maintained that position zone after zone after zone. Even when one team looked up and tried to take them down.
Dobro, ajmo mi to da vidimo. Kvalitetno. Veno i Tyson kvalali. Ajmo mi da vidimo, brate, tabelu. Prvo upper bracketa. Veno i Tyson kvalali. Svizi Vanjak kvalali. Janis i Flixi prvi po poenima. Eltezi Pancer drugi po poenima. Treći Mali Vuče i Merstaš. Četvrti Mapi Kiro. Peti Truleksić Iću. Čilaju oni, brate. 12 sa 1, 6 sa 4. Čilaju oni, brate, ima još 3 gejma. Ima još 3 gejma, brate, čilaju. Kurama je sljedeći, onda Viko i Pink malo dole. Relvis Dabuel. Čapteni po ovome su kao 13. 66 poena. Andilek Sejto 16. U stvari, kad oduzmeš 2 su 14. To je to. Kvizi, ljudi. Kvizi 42. 0 poena. Moneymaker još gori od njega. Idemo na upper bracket, na lower bracket. Idemo na lower bracket da vidimo šta rade naša braća. Idemo da vidimo šta rade. Trenutno top 30, 100 poena za kvalu. Trenutno je 100 poena za kvalu u upper bracket. U loweru, da vidimo je li ima naših. Miša i Luša 125 poena, 14. Hris i Skvi 104 poena, 25. Hris i Skvi mogu da se vrate u upper bracket. Bili 5 sa 3, što je super. Što je super. Kirjaši default 94. Kenny Vaske 3 gejma, 88 poena. 49. Moraju bolje. Moraju bolje.
He's gonna phase in. Oh, 0 ping. Oh shit.
Predikcije.
There's gonna be some fucking TikToks about that.
Truleksić Ićo 5. Koji su bili jebote? Koji su bili, ja i zaboravi, brate. Ja i zaboravi, 6.
The peanut butter peak. I mean, the training res, which I guess is fine.
On your box. You shit on this kid.
He loves this peanut butter peak, huh? Use the SMG, baby.
6 sa 4, brate. Jedni viču 5, jedni viču 6. Evo.
Peanut butter is always not optimal. True. You're not wrong.
Da vidimo dalje.
Dog shit sometimes, because most people expect it.
Vaske ljudi mora bolje. Vaske mora bolje ako će da kvala. Da vidimo šta rade over i levi. Da vidimo Andis 50 poena iz 5, ne ide dobro. Andis 50 poena iz 5, ne ide dobro. 33 umrli na landu, 18 i 3 umrli na landu, 25 iz 2. Ni poeni ni killovi, brate. Ni poeni ni killovi. Ne ide Andisu dobro. Ne ide over i leviju dobro. Ne ide ni leviju ni over. 5 gameova ljudi, 34 poena. Umrli zadnji na landu, malo pre 35. I 3 gamea, brate, sa vrlo malo poena. 3 gamea, vrlo malo poena, brate. Šteta. Šteta. Ajmo mi da gledamo dalje. Op, šta je ovo?
My go. Let's go, Hall. All I needed was a bit of freedom in fencing, and it's a free win.
Ljudi, vraćam se odmah za
Acorn was
sekundu.
taken, Boomer. You acted like we can't put fake names and letters into our names in Fortnite. Boomer. Ugly name or having the original letters? I'm picking not for ugly name. I'm picking the original, you know, the fake letters at that point. Yo, Hall, thanks so much for the 2 months in a row. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. You have an ugly name. You have an ugly face. How about that? I'm watching NA tonight. Yes. We watched NA last night. We're watching tonight again. Top 5. Decent game there from Noah.
To go up and scout after you hit the boot. Just build a ramp out to the side and see if anyone's keying.
It was good, Kame.
This medallion as well, we have to pay attention to.
How many gifted subs to watch OCE tomorrow?
Gde si Bero, gde si legendo? Šta je koči kod ovoga, brate? Ne može se gleda i to ti. Ko te jebe, ajmo da vidimo upper bracket. Šta ima Bero? Evo ga. Mali Buća dead. Mali Buća dead. Treći game, Kido i Kiro. Kido i Čitin vraćaju. Si mi dobar, Bero. Grozni pozdrav, brate.
the whole day in terms of battles off
Evo ga, replay.
Looks like the tables are finally turning here for Cheetah and Kiduo.
Dobar Bero, nije loš. Evo tu po kući malo ovo. Malo streamamo i tako, brate. Sejto ubio ne frizušaj Haulija. Ne frizušaj Hauli dead. Da li je Kvizi možda dead, niste vidjeli.
I'm not sure if they're gonna completely hunt for Merstash here or more play their current loop path and try and just focus on getting that medallion, but I think Merstash at least wants to catch one player off guard.
Yeah, you're seeing a huge change up this time around. Queasy and Thomas not overstaying their welcome at Mount Olympus, but instead just trying to quickly go on the aggressive.
Živi su, evo su.
Hedra down below, very close to Queasy, so he has to watch out not to get
Živi
kind
su,
of
dobro je.
in a 2v1 situation. Him and Kerwalk can kind of turn at a moment's notice, but Queasy's just there.
Opa, lepo, tagovi.
That Ranger AR, landing a couple of shots, getting that distraction to allow Queasy a little more freedom in his rotation.
Continue to look at options, at damage that they can do in the game. First game of the day. They didn't go for full-on eliminations. They just wanted a bit of damage, but Astro
Opa, kakvo letanje, brate. Kakvo letanje kod Jake Bootsa, ali cringe ubija Astrala. Au, kakvo žrtvovanje i uletanje bez razloga. Ali tu su Kido i Čiti. Što daje šansu. Ej, ovo daje šansu, brate, Merstašu da ide po karticu. Ovo daje šansu Merstašu da uzme karticu i da beži. Gdje je Merstaš? Uzo karticu. Jaj, drugi tim tamo. Ja ne verujem, brate. Drugi tim tamo, ej. Predikcija. Ko hoće predikciju u chatu? Mora da napiše u chatu da želi predikcije, brate.
Almost securing themselves at least the upper bracket tomorrow. Scroll looking for a cheeky little angle, unable to connect though. He's been caught.
Želiš da te guaranira?
Regroup with his duo partner.
Tako je, Bero. O ti hoćeš da te vozi, jeli?
So far 2-0 in this off-spawn fight, but this time around you see in the minimap a third team now closing in on the distance, and those are the things you learn. You adapt. You know this fight towards Reckless Way is happening, and if you haven't found the surge in the first two games, it might be a necessity to interrupt these fights very early on, even if your intention isn't necessarily to go for the elimination.
Be careful though. Giannis has been knocked. Flixi now is left
alone. Oh, Giannis knokan. Sky knokan. Giannis knokan, Sky knokan. 1v1.
Flixi needs to finish this quickly. He does exactly that, taking out Scroll. Now, the question is, will he have time to pick up Giannis here? As the third parties get closer and
Ljudi,
closer.
idemo jedne mnogo zajebane predikcije. Ovaj put su mnogo zajebane, brate. Ali mnogo zajebane. Ljudi, 2 minuta imate, skoncentrišite se šta piše na predikcijama. Znači, skoncentrišite se šta piše, mislim da je vreme. Predikcije 2 minuta kreću sad. Predikciju u chatu.
And that's exactly what we just witnessed here. The Reckless Railways battle lasted a bit too long here. So for 9 and Moneymaker capitalized on that, and it turned out perfectly for the duo. Looks like Thomas HD and Queasy are looking healthier than their previous matches, but still
Predikciju u chatu, ljudi. Vrlo zavlačito, krpež. Vrlo zavlačito, brate. Pobjeda ili ništa, brate. 5 sniper dead, double dead. 40 timova živo. Thomas i Queasy fajtaju Kirva i Hedra. Morao sam, brate. Tako je, Bero, tako je, nego kako. Naši mora da pobede, brate. Srbin i Bosanac kad se udruže mora pobeda, brate. A pobeda, Bero, znači kvalifikacije u grand finale.
Sometimes you don't have a choice. Also, depending on how long this takes, even the duo just waiting.
Ovi njih ovdje smaraju,
Using a lot
brate,
of time and resources here,
ali
just
mnogo.
holding on for that perfect moment. The issue is if they are able to get the elims and potentially the bunker,
Cringe
then
ubio Demuša.
that's huge, but if not, you used a lot of time without a lot of gain, so you kind of have to make a decision on what you're going to do.
Yeah, you see everybody really fighting for that piece control. Over towards the bunker is going to be the most important part. Where currently Queasy and Thomas do have control. And they're really not trying to give up the position. And the longer this one takes, the harder it's going to be, because when you're fighting for piece control, you're using a lot of your materials back and forth, back and forth. And you see the other side, nobody really having a ton of resources in this fight.
Nemaju
So
oni
no matter if they
mace,
choose to
brate,
kind of
ovaj
fight it out to
Kedra I
the end,
Kirva.
disengage. You got two teams waiting on the outskirts for when this
Nemaju
one
oni
does
mace,
end.
brate.
And by the time that
I
happens,
upravo
you
je ovaj
have nothing
komentator,
left to
brate.
defend yourself. So a lot of these teams
Upravo
need
je
to be careful.
komentator,
They need
vidite
to be
novi
aware
tim.
and start planning for the future.
Vidite novi tim koji se približava, brate, kod Quizija tamo na bunker.
Medallion, so they have those unlimited dashes.
Čap je umro,
Mythic
ljudi.
shotgun as well.
Čap je umro, ej.
A good setup for having a dominant late game here. Even with those two eliminations, damage is on their side, so they can continue now just focusing a bit more on their positioning, on the rotation in an area of the map that does not
Merstaš je
have
živ,
too
ali
many
mali
opposing
buće
duos.
još
Merstaš,
nije
though,
ga
is still
digao.
up.
Merstaš I
He is
dalje,
hiding.
brate, čila.
Fire Bro and very are close by.
Merstaš I dalje
Even though this
čeka.
is a great strategy for Merstash, really no other choice.
Ova dvojica su se
You gotta start
pojavili,
thinking of what this
brate.
does for their storm surge game.
Ova
They weren't
dvojica
really
su se
able to get
pojavili
much
I
damage
još
in that
tu
initial
su,
fight.
brate.
They're waiting so long before he even has a chance to get the reboot. So only time will tell if it works out. With already Alex going down, leaving his teammate as a solo. He's
Mrzim
gonna
me,
try to
Mele,
disengage,
mrzim.
and it's so far away. They're over towards the underworld. Yes, they have the dashes to close the distance, but if you're planning to get your teammate back, you better have some HP heals in your back pocket, or at least know where to get them.
Good news is they do have the med kit, so alongside that and the river of sticks to rotate quicker, they should
Da,
be able
moguće, brate.
to make it to
Pa
zone, no
onako stream
problem.
oni će da ga ubiju, brate.
Although it would have been
Pa
nice to
onako
conserve a
stream
bit
oni
of
će da ga
those
ubiju, znači
med kits
gde je.
for a late game.
Ako
However,
znaju,
being
brate.
low on materials, they also need to farm up during their rotate. So
Pelom,
they've got a
luda
lot of work to
streama,
do,
brate.
not a lot of time. Vico and Pink now also looking to see if they have any options here on players rotating closer and closer to the zone. They don't have any eliminations, but a solid loadout for Pink currently.
Yeah, as long as they don't make any big mistakes, they have the great position, especially with the zone moving in their direction. Pink and Vico, they're also taking two different bushes, two different locations to try to maximize the potential when it comes to that storm surge. They don't want to be too stagnant in one spot. But unfortunately, a lot of those early battles that happen towards Reckless Huevos are already done and over with. So the teams that are located in this side of the map are probably boxed up in a very, very same scenario looking for surge themselves.
It's difficult though, not a lot of options here. There's some pros and cons of being centered map, especially if the zone closes completely centered. Players might not rotate directly to the center as early on and stay more on the edges, so you won't have as many options of players rotating in compared to if the zone pulls far. Thomas Day, HD, and Queasy, like I said, it could take a long time for an engagement like this to end, and they're still here. So for the duo that was third partying, if you look at the mini-map, they're also in a similar position.
They gotta
And
be
for the
careful.
players that didn't get the bunker, yeah, they really got to be careful because they just wasted a lot of time.
If they don't third party this, they're probably just waiting there to get the scraps that is left behind. But for both of these teams, both Queasy, Thomas, and the third party, they're just wasting a lot of time when it comes to Storm Surge. But Merstash probably finally getting Malibuka's card. Only one will know. And we got our second battle of FNC.
Jao,
For so
majko,
long.
kako zec.
Merstash gets put down with ease.
2 shots connected by Rick Board, just one from Merstash. It was almost enough to take him out, but 23 HP is what was left over. We can see from Rick Board's angle how it looked, as I believe Merstash got a nice initial shot, but the quick 2-piece is what cleaned it up.
Kind of got baited by the reboot. Felt like he had no choice but to try to stop it. While he was down on health as well, so just not the best situation as Squeeze and Buzz. rotating all over 2 fencing fields. Built themselves one of the monuments that we know and love when it comes to Fortnite, just trying to survey the land. There's only 4 potential teams around them at this stage in the game, so not a lot of opportunity for Surge, especially it doesn't look like either one of them have a DMR, so even if they do land the shots, it isn't going to add a lot when it comes to that overall total.
You can only see a few duos in the surrounding area, and I believe a couple of them are on Surge bases, so it's kind of shots back and forth between the Surge bases.
Teni bi trebao da je sam zato što je Čap umro, brate. Ne znam da li ga je digao.
Pretty deep in zone.
Ne znam da li ga je
Looks
digao,
like they're
brate.
gonna quick enough make their way right back on in. Nice little shot with the DMR.
Yeah, but they're traveling towards just left of Restored's Real, north of Pleasant Piazza, where a lot of teams are going to make the same rotation, particularly because the River Sticks that gives them the underworld dashes. So even though they're going to stop, try to stagger themselves, get some more Storm Surge of any teams that is farther behind that rotation, they have that backup plan to kind of rotate and get into a safer spot sooner rather than later. Rift Island appears, and Pink and Vico are building a tower that kind of matches that elevation, and you can see watching out towards the back, he sees another mountain towards the outside, so they're trying to set themselves up from what we've seen very, very early on.
Bobby,
Pink is going to be
šta je
down
s
low,
tobom,
trying to
čovječ?
replenish a lot of the resources and kind of watch his back and possibly try to hunt.
Moj guli, ne daju ti, brate, ni da gledaš kao čovjek, brate.
These Surge bases aren't just beneficial for when you're looking for tags, but you can even kind of use it to potentially sway the rotations of players in the surrounding area, as they'll assume that there's most
Zašto
likely
ne
someone on
pokažu
top of
šta je
that,
s
and they'll
Kvizjem i
kinda
sa
keep their
bunkerom?
line of
Zašto
sight
neće da
blocked from
pokažu,
it,
brate?
even if there's no one there. So it could
Ide, Bobby, ide
make
onako.
that side of the map a little bit more free.
Zašto neće da pokažu,
Getting a bit
brate,
more technical,
šta
but
se dešava u bunkeru?
that's the thing about set lobbies. You normally know which duos are where and where they're going to set up to get those tags, so you kind of want to base your rotation around that information. But the thing with semifinals is those lobbies keep changing every day. As 25 duos qualify, 25 duos get sent down to the lower bracket. So you do have new lobbies each time. A lot of studying, a lot of homework has to be done for these lobbies. Cheat and Kiduo now, boxed up edge of zone here, trying to see if any duos will be rotating in late.
Yeah, luckily for them, they were able to get 2 quick eliminations, kind of
Ne
start the game.
zajebavaj, čuju kako
Not
puca
necessarily
ono.
a ton when it comes to Storm Surge, so that's still looming in
Da,
the
da,
back of their minds.
mali
And you can see
Petrić,
them saving
brate.
that slat barrel.
Mali Petrić, 4 gejma, ništa i onda ugasi stream i vina. Vrlo zanimljiva stvar, brate. Vrlo zanimljiva stvar, brate.
To cover a ton of distance very, very quickly when they're forced to make this rotation.
Znaš što, mlad je, brate, pa možda neiskusan, ne znaš.
Till 5th zone appears. Will they have to make a far rotation? Not too much. Good news is there's not even that many duos close by. Only danger is with Smoky there.
Ovi su fajtali, nisu.
Sato and Andalex, on the other hand,
Nisu.
close to Mount Olympus. This
Ne
is where we
vidim
kind of had
Kvizija.
that bunker battle with Thomas HD and Tiddy. So we'll have to see where those players are now.
Pa gdje su trud? Ten je ubio
I get scared
Cringe-a.
now here in the chain of Hades.
Ten je
How
ubio
dangerous it's
Cringe-a.
been so far, and already Mappy's just creating so much distance. He doesn't want to go
Jeste,
toe-to-toe
Elmine,
with that.
100%,
Luckily,
brate.
Kiro is close by.
100%, Elmine, da se radi o tome,
brate.
brate.
Before this started, because that would have been very, very disastrous with Mappy at half HP, but Kiro with another shot from above.
Nije mogao da
That
stavi
doesn't
2
scare down
minuta
his
delay,
opponents.
jeli?
They're still trying to fight this and build up even higher and
Muksić
overtake that
pojma
position.
nemam, ne prati
And
me
what's
na
scary is
Central
both of these
ništa,
teams
niti me
still need to
interesuje.
rotate. In a couple seconds, Zone is going to move in, and they are going to be taking damage. And with another
Ako je
team
on rekao
already
to,
having
ja
safety
mislim
in
da mu
zone,
trebaš
it's
da
not
mu
necessarily a
poveruješ,
position
brate.
I want to be in.
Ja mislim da
Could be
treba da mu
worse.
se
They're
poveruje,
not
brate.
incredibly far, but at the same time, like you said,
Makes sense.
it's going to use at least a lot of materials, and the
Eee,
duos that are on the edge
glupsi
of the
ko
zone with the
kurac.
water bending, Mythic making him
Glupsi
turn
ko
around and not be
kurac.
capitalizing on that situation to get a knock. They have the leverage here now, but all they really need is to get this refresh, finish the eliminated player, and honestly, just get the zone here. They could take the 2 versus
Kiro
1, but it's a
umro.
little risky because if you end up getting knocked just like Kiro did, now being left as a solo is going to make it incredibly more difficult.
Yeah, I feel like he could have just let that player's knock just kind of sit there and just try to go for the 2v1. It's those split-second decisions that really make all the difference, because now it's brought down to a 1v1. I will say the blessing is that third-party team has rotated on out, but in comes a curse to where they get a max pull. Even after this fight is over, your work is not done just yet. Mappy gets boxed up and taken out. A 1v2 is in the books. And with a chance to get the reboot back up because of this far pull on the zone, this is going to be another chance at life.
Stillian, the nice two-piece.
Lepo je ovo
You can
uradio.
see why it can be quite risky, even if you're in a 1 versus 2, to take those engagements. But what a way as well to get the elimination. Chain of Hades once again being put to good use.
Šta je s tobom,
I believe,
Džoksi?
like, especially when you're in a zone like that,
Keko,
after
dobro
getting
je.
a knock,
Šta je
you
s
can't
tobom,
just kinda
Džoksi?
take the
Ko je
loot
šta
and
rekao, bre?
rotate in, but from being split up, it's difficult also to make those split-second decisions in the moment. It's a lot more difficult than when you're...
Pa ne konta niko, neće niko da padne na foru, bre.
Chicho Trulex, though, kind of nervous here. Just 24 above. They need quite a significant amount of damage, and there's not too many duos close to them. There's a lot in the surrounding area, but being so far away, it can be hard to land those shots.
I'm actually a little surprised they're even having some issues with Surge, whether if it's above or below, with their strategy, game plan, building those giant towers, even splitting up to try to cover distance to get the Surge. Seeing them below, it's not a position I expected them to see in, and they're just battling it out. It's only 3 damage, but the longer they take, they're falling further and further below. No opportunities to land shots just yet, but with so many teams rotating on by from Rift's launch pad is from the back of Rift Island, that could be the perfect opportunity, but again, they continue to fall. 92 below the damage threshold, and Trulex gets sniped by Vico. He goes down, all that opportunity out the window, and now Chicho's just stuck by himself. Vico going in to try to finish off that elimination, and he finishes off not just 1, but 2 straight eliminations to take down both Trulex and Chicho in that fight.
This is the blessing and the curse that I was talking about having a drop in the center of the map. It's a great position to be in, but if the zone pulls towards the center, a majority of the players are going to be on the edge of the zone.
Jebi ga, Bero, vidio si, dobio snajp u glavu.
So the only shots that you can take
Mrtvi
are
Viko,
the
ubio
duos
ih
that also
obojicu.
landed
Tomas je dead.
more of a mid-map POI,
Tomas
and
je
they
dead,
don't have as many
ljudi.
options to take shots of players rotating through.
Kvizi ubija jednog, Kvizi ubija
This must
obojicu.
have been why they
Kvizi
had so
ubija
much
obojicu,
difficulty
ej.
getting that damage earlier on.
Ajmo, Kvizi!
Left alone.
Mi gotovi odavno, ne znam zašto ja trošim vreme. Šta bi over neće danas, a? Vidio sam 5 gameova, mnogo loše, bra. Je li over? Vidio sam 5 gameova, mnogo ste loše odigrali. Ovo je upper bracket. Ne znam šta ti kažem, desi mi ksa. Živi su Kvizi i...
This could be the one to push him over the top.
Kvizi živ i Tomas živ. Ja najbolje igram ove FNCS i kurac. Jeste završili, brate? Pa ima još sutra dan, brat. Jeli over, ima još sutra dan, brat. Zadnja šansa. Čekaj da vidim šta se tu radi. Ovo je upper. Pozdrav Miksa, 5,5.
And any bad position, but cheating. We saw him just not too long ago with more dashes. He's got to have the medallion, so this could be a big win for somebody to take out Cheating as a solo. Still bouncing around. Hot on the heels, 133 below, and Cheating finally goes down. So on. He's the one that gets the elimination, but they're targeted from the front side of the zone, and he goes down. But the pressure is not slowing down just yet. 2 teams are being the gatekeepers and won't let them pass.
Medallion now stuck in the zone. Could be a little gift for the duos holding them on the edge.
Andi's jautno loše. Andi's jautno 6 gameova, 70 poena loše. 29 sa 5, neće ih pa i neće. Ne mogu da uđu u endgame, ne mogu nikako u endgame. Levi over, 8 gameova. Levi over, 8 gameova, 46 poena.
I do believe from the
Umrli na landu, pa
lower
36.
bracket
sa
side of
1,
things, so it's the first time they're getting
31. sa 2,
a
umrli na
chance
landu.
at this scenario of win and you're in. Only
Jeste
28
vino,
above,
Bobby.
though.
Over,
This
jebi
is
ga,
gonna
brate,
make me
ima
too
sutra
nervous
dan.
with how fast and aggressive Fanai and Moneymaker can be at a moment's
Ima
notice. You see
sutra
them
dan,
centering
over.
themselves, just trying to get the damage, which isn't a ton. Even Sato just getting tagged
Nije
out,
kvalo za sutra,
drained
pa
right
stani,
out of
zar
the
nije
sky.
sutra top 15?
Thomas HT Queasy.
Zar nije sutra
Now
top
down to
15?
16 above the Storm Surge threshold. They were looking better earlier on, but they have not been able to connect
A
enough shots,
sutra
it seems.
50
Sato
njih igra
might be what they were looking
za
for
top
here.
15, jel
Nice
tako?
amount of damage connected. Thomas thinking about getting a bit
Da,
more
da,
aggressive,
da,
but
da,
quickly
razumem,
decides against
da,
them.
da, da,
Squeezy
da.
has gotten the knock. Both
Moja
players
greška,
together
moja
now. All we
greška.
need to do is get in zone.
Yeah, notice how Thomas broke the cover for Queasy, knowing
Jebi
he's
ga.
eventually going to turn and rotate in that direction. Teamwork really making the dream
Moja
work, and
greška,
it's
da.
those small little intricacies that really matter towards the end.
Znači,
Look
sutra
how quickly they
15
make it in towards zone.
od
They were
50 koji
focused for
budu,
a quick
brate.
seconds, but as soon as that focus stopped, they're now
Razumem.
able to get the HP needed. And in these moving zones, LTZ, Penzi are going to be the first ones that have that taste of the high ground.
Ninth zone pulls back as well, so those players
Jebi
that
ga,
barely
over.
made it in now can just
A,
hold their
laki,
position.
over, igrali
TD
ste
Chap,
ko
though,
bogovi
so
ove
many
sezone.
players inside the box in front of him. It's going to be Raban.
Teni
First one
čap,
to get knocked
teni
out.
čap,
Be
ljudi.
careful, though. I believe
4
Queasy
kila.
just on top might open an angle, look for some
Igrali ste
potential
kao
damage here.
bogovi ove sezone,
Panzer
stvarno.
and his
I
duo, though,
dogurali ste do FNCS-a,
holding
brate.
both sides of zone here,
Jebi ga.
trying to make sure that they can claim it.
Yeah, you know how aggressive that team was in the lower bracket. They already got a big win, so they have the blueprint down packed. They just need to be able to solidify it here. Karmi's just under pressure. He goes
biti
down,
bio
separated
Karmija.
from his duo. Just a quick second is all it really taken. Look how healthy he is with the materials, with the heals. So he could pick up a lot of points here as a solo, and just determining with only 36 points so far, those are big points for the leaderboard.
Continuing to rotate through. Has and it's
Evo
significant
su
amount
Thomas
of
i Queasy,
materials
evo
to
su
play
Thomas i
multiple
Queasy.
moving zones, to be fair. As now Thomas HD Queasy. Much more elims on the board, looking a lot healthier than previous matches, but still
Queasy
a long
mnogo
ways
low.
to go to be comfortable.
Queasy
They need to
mnogo
pop
low,
heals
brat.
now. They need to pop shields. As being second height, the pressure from
Marek,
Panzer
smiri
is
se,
going to come
brat.
soon. Chaptini close by as well. The Buell trying to get his way to the front of zone through the edge here.
I think teams are learning throughout these couple
Teni
days.
krca
Look up,
high.
it's as simple as that. Teeny Chap.
Teni krca
They make
high,
high ground
gleda
the
high.
focus.
Queasy
And they're the ones
također,
that
ali
closest.
Queasy je mnogo low.
No longer is it Queasy Thomas on second height. You see the Flowberry Fizz come out. The battle for the high ground is going to begin. Panzer gets coned off. He gets overtaken. They have no choice but to possibly give it up, but they're not going to give it up for free. They're going to still continue to try to battle this one out, even though Chapatini do have the high
Ten ih
ground
razvali.
secured. El Teensy
Ten ih
gets taken
razvali,
down, but
brat.
everything comes crumbling down. But luckily they have the dashes to save themselves at the last second.
Panzer ostao gore.
Materials, though, is what's the
Panzer
issue now. Just
ostao
3
gore.
builds for Teeny. They need to find a refresh.
Šta?
It's actually Thomas HD.
Thomas i
Queasy
Queasy
that's
na
overthrown high
haju.
ground, but no materials to work with. They also need to find a
Ide
refresh.
destru
Nobody
gore,
has
jebe
mats.
Teni mu
Oh,
se
somebody
slikao.
flanks. That's Teeny again.
Teni
With a huge
Queasy,
flank,
Teni
taking
ubio
down
Queasy i Thomas.
That's his high ground. You can fight him for
Teni
it, but
ubio
there's only
Queasy
so
i
much
Thomasa.
you can do as a
I uzo
solo,
high.
especially with how strong they are, and with the newly found dash coin, they're going to be able to overtake height with ease, especially since it's one player, and he saw it coming.
Yeah,
He saw
big
it
brat.
waterfall his way down. He didn't want nothing to do with that battle.
Teeny Chap picking up that crown once again, now up above. Have the Flowberries to hold on. Just 6
Yeah,
duos
but-
left. Maintaining it is crucial here for that VR. Meanwhile, down below, it's Turtle. Huge 105
Queasy samo
shot,
što
but
je
has to
uzo
get the
high
zone.
s Thomasom dođe Teni, brat. Ali bili su Queasy i Thomas bez maca i mnogo low. Bez maca i mnogo low su bili, brat. Top 2 ljudi. Top 2. Ubiše ga ko zeca, brat. Teni 7 kilova. Pozdrav Mile, jel ti poznat Nick C, Armak, Krava? Da, da, poznat mi je, brate, što pitaš? Poznat mi je, brate, što pitaš? Zato što mi se timaju customima kod drugara. Kaži mi gde, brate? Kaži mi gde, brate, gde? Kod koga?
And we're gonna see them in the grand finals.
Yeah, we kept talking almost 2 days
Daj
straight.
mi,
The high ground team is
daj
winning,
mi,
the high ground team is
evo
winning.
ti moderator,
They
daj mi
took
link.
notice and they prepared
Evo ti moderator,
to
daj mi
overtake
link,
that
brzo.
high ground from the Flowberry Fizz to trying to chop them down. They played
Daj
it
mi link,
perfect
brzo.
and they executed a big win to get that battle bus spot.
More and more players
Jebi ga, ovo je baš jadno, jebi ga, jadno je, šta da
Sad
radim?
ću ti ja dovest Miveta Pumimu da ti riješi to.
Au. Pa oni su u crnoj klanu, jel?
Mhm.
A realno mogu smo Mileta Pumu da pitamo da izbaci iz klana, a? Napravi duo, neću duo, ajde, upadajte.
Ne mogu da pišem.
Izbanaš na Discord, a? Ovo je isti kod, isti kod.
Trešo!
Isti kod,
Trešo,
isti kod,
kaži
isti
mu
kod.
samo da mi
966.
pusti da vidim, molim te. A bacio sam sub,
Sve
evo.
skinove koje imam, imaš na video skinove.
Čekaj, čekaj.
Okej, brate. Onda se niko ne može timat na duosima. Ali pravi si, brate, ali glupo mi.
Došao ti Mivet Puma u čest.
Pozdrav Mile, čao, dobro došao, pozdrav, čao. Jesmo rekao šta je bilo Divan?
Jesam, pitao sam ga.
Aj mi pusti da vidim timanje, evo sad ćemo da pustimo, nije problem. Nije problem, druže moj, samo malo da ja nađem moment. Evo Gečević mi je poslao, znači Gečević mi je poslao tako da ovo je idealan dokaz, tako da evo sam sekunda. Display capture, evo. Znači ovdje imamo Jankezu i Arma, ne znam, vjerojatno znaš ti bolje njih nego ja, uglavnom evo vidiš ovdje sve evo. A i malo prije je bilo timanje, mogao si bukvalno da vratiš nazad. Da vratiš nazad stream, ako želiš.
S kim igra on? A s kim igra
To je se baš
Armin?
dobro ne vidi iskreno. Što jest. Ali evo vidiš, prate ga obojica.
Stani, ovo je solo, aha, solo, nije duo, pa vidi malo prepominje duo.
Aj malo prije je bilo timanje, sad ću da ti pokažem, sam sekunda molim. Sam malo dođe na svoj stream
Vidim,
ponovo.
čuo sam malo pre da je rekao dečko.
Zato što su timeri u gameu, ne možemo igrati ako su timeri ljudi. Evo samo da nađem unazad, da vratim malo stream, sorry. Našao sam, evo ga. Evo ga. Evo njih dvojice tu zajedno idu i ubijaju ljude.
Prolazi pored njega ono.
Viš, ne pucaju se njih
Gledaj, ne
dvojica.
pucaju se bre.
Logično. Kod je 96 ljudi, da. Evo. Mislim da je dovoljno, iskreno, nemam šta više da pokazujem. To je kad sam diskvalifikovao for no reason, kaže Arma. Dobra Arma, brate moj, ti pričaj što hoćeš, nije bez razloga, brate, vidjeli smo bukvalno šta ste radili, znači, nema molim te. Imaju dokaze, druže, i prije toga, znači, imaju dokaze, tako da... Prošli game, ne samo ovaj. Jesmo gledali svi zajedno tu dokaze? Jesmo sve gledali zajedno tu, evo cijeli stream je gledao sa mnom, znači, ne bi ja bez veze ljude, brate, mili, diskvalifikovao 100%. Tako da, eto. Ti radi što hoćeš, brate moje, ali... Mi idemo igrati. Upajati, 96 ljudi. Ma neću Ogi to da radim, brate, kompletno je sad to da se radi. Ajmo. Ja sam samo počekao rekao da se ti imaju, pa dobro. Eto Mile, ako si tu, ako možeš da im kažeš da više to ne radi, valjda će tebe posčati, mislim ono... I to je to. Ćao Duksina, pozdrav, dobrodošao. Pozdrav Divajna. Evo, pozdravljati Duksina.
Pozdrav.
Ja se izvinjam dovoljno Jankeza jer dijete bolesno igra da je Armin stigao banut ta govna, čao. A brate, nećemo baš tako, ali dobro, da, banovat ću definitivno. Slobodno i Divine banuje ako vidiš chat, pošto ja sad ne mogu da ga tražim. Tako da eto. Hvala Milo još jednom, što si došao. Ljudi, ajde, da krenemo, da mi recite. Slobodno i banuje ako ih vidiš u chat. Evo ga u chat. .96 ljudi. Nemaš ljudi moji, jebi ga, mi smo Balkanci, mi smo mutavi ljudi, realno, iskreno. Mislim, kako god okreneš, mi uvijek tražimo neki način da zajebimo sistem, što se kaže, da eksploitamo i tako, to klasika, znate sami. Ne može kod nas ništa normalno da bude sve po pravilima. Klasika. Ajde, krećemo. 75 nas ima, jel dovoljno ovo?
Šta bi?
Pa dobro, Haze, šta sad? Ma ja startat ćemo, realno. Što čekat po naša mina? 9-6 kod, ljudi, 9-6 kod. Pa ne mogu i polo da ustav, brate, ne mogu, brate, šta ja mogu? Aha. Ma neću na Disco da šaljemo samo kod. Neko će im likat kod ljudima, pa nisu oni smotani. Mislim, možda jesu, ali da. A znam da mogu da grifaju, ba grifat će, vjerojatno će grifat opet, klasika. Vjerojatno će opet da grifaju, to već znam. Pa preko Uniteda ne može, ali ko će sad United da pravi? Šta mi, jeste vi normalni? Vidimo se Mile, poz, hvala još jednom. Ćao. Koji ki? 9-6, ljudi. Eto, može lost. Što bi Liva ako će opet grifati? Pa eto, sad ćemo da imamo, ajde. Sad ćemo probati da jedma nađemo pa da bar upozorimo ljude da imaju grifer i to je to. Znači, vidi ovako, postoji šansa da, bit će vjerojatno grifer sad ponovo u gameu, tako da znate. Ja ću probati da ispecam da vam budu
Joksi, duvaj ga, brate, Joksi, duvaj ga.
Ja ću tata sa 80 ljudi, ne mogu više da čekam, tako da eto. I to je to. Napravim najbolje sljedeći put, a vidjet ću da napravim, iskreno. To je dobra ideja, realno, samo eto jebi. Nisam nikad imao problema ovake, iskreno. Da ovako ljudi rade, iskreno, nisam imao. Uvijek su bili normalni custome, uvijek je bilo sve normalno. I Jankeza je igrao svaki custom, ja mislim, do sada, tako da vjerovatno ga nisam upatio na vrijeme.
Morao sam, brate, ja se izvinjavam.
Radio preko Uniteda. Znam, Andrej, brate, znam.
Idemo dalje. Pitam se ko je taj Jovan. Mora da je bot, brate. Gde si Tex? Pozdrav, brate. Gde si Čoda, ljubite, brat? Ej, samo da vam kažem jednu stvar. Evo ga Armin, gledaj. Gledaj da evo sekunda, Čoda. Nema problema, Trešo, sve okej, brate. Kad treba za ovakve majmune, samo me zovi. Nije on više, taj majmun nije više deo CN tima, banovanje s mog Discorda. Dete bolesno, brate, samo bolestan dečko može da se tima za 800 V-Bucksa sa Jankezom. Jankeza je bolestan u glavu, ni ja ne želim da budem. Možeš bre u pičku matru. Slušaj, brate, samo ti kažem jednu stvar. Samo da ti kažem jednu stvar pre nego što te banujem, brate. Samo da ti kažem jednu stvar. Kidaro, godinama me moliš da te pustim u CN tim. Godinama te odbivam. Ušao si, Kidaro, u grind tim jer nisi vredan ni Academy tima, a o rosteru to možda sanjaš. Pomogao sam te tu na streamu da nađeš neke duose. Garantovao sam par puta za tebe. Šta si ti uradio tim duosima? Psovo si im majku mrtvu. Psovo si im majku mrtvu. Svakome kome sam ti našao, ti si psovo majku mrtvu. I pitaš zašto ja ne mogu da nađem duosa. Pa ne možeš, majmune, jer si klošar. Pogledaj kako si se pokazao da si klošar. Otišao si kod lika da se timaš u sred FNCS-a gde treba da naučiš kako da igraš. Otišao si da se timaš sa psihopatom, bolesnikom, lažovom, Jankezom. Našao si drugara pravog, brate. Pravog drugara si našao. To je ono što sam ja vama pričao 100 godina. Normalan se druži sa normalnim, proigrač sa proigračem, pošten čovek s poštenim čovekom, a NPC sa NPC-em. NPC Jankeza se tima s kim? Sa Arminom. Šta je Armin? NPC. Timao se za jebenih 800 V-Bucksa. Uništava čoveku stream. Govno jedno. Jebem te usta. Jebem ja sad tebi mrtvu majku za sve one mrtve majke što si psovo svim ljudima u cenu kad god si umro i kad god si ispao NPC. Napušiš mi se kurca, meni, celom cenu i celom četu. Psovo si Bobiju majku mrtvu, trpelo te dete, trpelo. Trpeo te, brate. Znaš, mi grindamo, mi smo dobri. Ja mu malo psujem mrtvu majku, ali nema veze. Šta bre, nema veze, jebem te usta, te jebem. Pička ti materina bolesna. Da Bog da ti 800 vibaksa trebalo za lekove, majke ti ga nabijem u pičku. Klošarčino jedna. Klošaru jedan. Jebem ti mater u pičku. Svaka treća poruka na Discordu, Armin mi psuje mrtvu majku kad umre. Jebem te usta, te jebem. Gubi mi se sa chata, te ne vidim, banovo sam te sa CN Discorda. Sramotiš. Tim mene nosi se u pičku materinu. Banujte ga sad kogod može, moderator, banujte govno. Jebem ti familiju mrtvu, ti jebem, ti ćeš nekom da psuješ. Nisi vredan, brate, crnog ispod nokta. Crnog ispod nokta nisi vredan. Majmunčino jedan. Tomas uzo kill, Tomas uzo kill.
Aggression as they start pursuing, looking to see if they can land some shots at least just to get a bit of damage, but you gotta be careful.
Keletino jedna, ti mene teraš u pičku
Silly
materinu,
Seb now
jebem
forced
ti
to pop
mamu
a mini
malu,
here. They do have
balavu klošarsku,
the
NPC-evsku.
upper hand in terms of positioning, but
Ruke nemaš,
if the
ceo
duels
život
down
sam
below
pričao
hold
da
their
ruke
ground,
nemaš,
it's gonna make it
sad sam
quite
vidio da
difficult
ni
to
pored
aggress.
ruku nemaš ni mozga.
Yeah, you're kind of fighting them where they're kind of set up on the low ground. You gotta imagine the space that they got, but Silly tries to sneak in. Takes a huge shot, dropped down to just 19 shields. A lot of the resources being expended in this early game fight, and it almost leaves you with a decision. Do I disengage, or because I spent already so many builds, resources, heals for this fight, it almost leaves me no choice but to try to finish. And I think in a lot of situations, teams kind of feel stuck in those situations.
Bravo, Čoda, bravo, majstore!
yeah, to be fair, I don't think
Bravo, Čoda, bravo, doktore, baci si se u biznis, vidim, je.
the full-on duel.
Ko je vino prošli? Mateni, brate, ko je vino?
There's dual partner there. Also
Evo, upravo sam dobio par poruka od 3 čoveka. Sam dobio poruke, Arminove poruke, kako psuje mrtvu majku i mrtve roditelje ljudima. Upravo mi ljudi šalju. Ti mater bolesnu. Šta je uradio moj Čoda, brate? Čoda, jel smem da kažem, brate? Čoda, jel smem da kažem? Kako da se uđe u CN? Molim vas, pomozite u chatu, brate. Iznervirao sam se, mrzi me da pričam. Molim vas, pomozite, stari moderatori u chatu. Ne bi baš na live. Ljudi, evo ja ću da vam kažem, brate, šta je? Čoda je položio, brate, školu, višu, i red je da časti, brate. Čoda je završio višu školu, danas je dao ispit zadnji, i to je to. I to je to, ljudi. Evo, znak uzvik u chatu CN Grind i znak uzvik u chatu CN Academy. Biraj, brate, Riz Marki, šta ti odgovara, brate.
And Seb get closer here. You can see they're even kind of preparing themselves, forming a bit more, healing up, making sure.
Bravo, Čoda. Vidio sam da si se bacio u biznis, brate, na Twitteru. Brata, ne zoveš da zaradimo milione, jeli? Brata, ne zoveš da uložimo pare. Mile, šta bi ušu kol, nešto te psuje Armin. Armin me psuje. Koji Armin, brate, ko je to? A to ovaj mali što svima psuje mrtvu majku. I što moli ceo život da ga primim u cena, tima se za 800 vibaksa. Pa znaš ti, Amzi, brate, da mali otišao da se tima za 800 vibaksa sa najvećim, jednim od najvećih NPC-eva na Balkanu, Jankezom, brate. Nemao da Bog da zaleba kada otišao da se tima da uništava onaj, ne znam ko je onaj momak što streama, ali izgleda momak neki fin, kulturan, brate. Al bar znam momka koji je došao da mi traži pomoć, a to je Divine Trasha, brate. Kad je meni Divine došao na stream da me moli za pomoć, pa mene bre sramota, brat. Vi ne znate ljudi ko je Divine, brat, ja tog lika znam 6 godina. Ja Divina znam pre nego što sam ja počeo da streamam Fortnite. Divine je legenda, zamisli kad taj čovjek je došao, 6 godina se znamo, da mi traži pomoć. Viko ubio X-Force-a. Sramota, brat, da takav Armin mrtvak predstavlja moj tim. Nemoj se nerviraš, zabašiti kosu. Možda smuda, brat.
But quickly enough, turning it around, putting their opponents in panic. As now Vico said, you can get away. Not anymore. Aggression continues as now the box fight once again. 4 boxes made by Clownski. Doing anything he possibly can.
Vink, brate, gazi se pred so, opa.
Good amount of shield for both players. Should Vico and Pink actually commit to this?
Sutra ću možda da se ošišam, brate, na baskat. Na baskat sam.
Which rises that threat. But I think they won it. Something's telling me that they won it, Jacob.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they want to let it go for free.
Basically
in range of that bubble spot. Another upper bracket spot secured, but this is all about the win. Laying it all on the line. They know they got that one elimination onto Axe Force, and they're just waiting to kind of clean up this other one. They're just cutting off all exits with Vico building around. Kido trying to get a quick peek, lands a great shot onto Vico. But it's the numbers game. It's just too much. But you talked about the third party. Look at that team waiting on the other side of the mountain for this fight to finish and for them to try to rotate over.
They know Vico and Pink now on thin ice have to decide what's the play. Do they know that the third party is waiting for them? Are they going to go directly towards them? Or will they try and kind of go around? It looks like Pink has to be careful. He's walking right into their trap here. It's Destru who could put an end to Pink.
It's going to be a great opportunity for them to do that, especially pushing him in towards the zone. HP being gone before they step their toes in it themselves. Vico trying to slide down the mountain. No choice.
Nemoj banat Jimmy-a, dobar momak. Jimmy može da ga primi, dobar je, brate. Jim, on može da ga primi, dobar je, brate. Neka ga, neka ga. Sjedi Jimmy, sad će ženske, sad će meze, sad će rakija, brate. Braće si dalje timaju, jebim pas mrtvu majku. Jebem ti klošari, brate, kad mora da budeš klošar, jebem mi ti sunce.
They honestly might have even been able to knock down Pink, but without doing so, now both duos have just chose to go their own paths here, go their own way, make it to zone once again. Chicho Trulex, we saw them have issue with Storm Surge in the last match, even though they have a very good strategy for getting those tags. But now that they're more on the edge of the zone, you can see this is the opportunity where the players do have to rotate through them, and hopefully they've been able to get more damage.
Važi, brate.
I like this quick rotation on out of restore growth. They could have stayed there in those towers in that position. A lot of teams from the north, even the west, are going to have to rotate on in, but it's little moments like that. Rotate, get a better spot, kind of do it all over again. And Chicho's just getting opportunities for anybody just trailing them to land shots just like that, which is going to help in their Storm Surge. I think every single game this is a team that adapts, that learns, that figures out what went wrong and why, just so they can fix it before the next game starts.
From
Op, vidiš što se razvija fight.
To aggressive here.
Vidiš što se razvija fight, bit će zajebano.
Smoky close to the Grim Gate here. Is this a battle you want to take? 36 duos up. Second to last match
Ali zašto svi fajtaju u zoni, brate?
As I believe Zohan
zašto svi fajtaju u zoni?
And his duo here are going to choose against the fact. Or they're potentially just going to try and make their way, I was going to say, into zone, but they're actually going further back, deeper into zone here. So it seems they do not want to take this engagement, kind of telling Raban and Fistroki, you know, if you want to battle us, we're just going to keep going deeper and deeper in zone. It's not going to be a good idea for the both of us. So now, they have seen that, and they will make their ways away. I see Thomas HD Queasy as well being up.
Jel mogu predikcije? Au,
I
sad je
think this is the match
kasno.
where they're looking the
Sad je
healthiest
kasno.
out of anyone we've seen today. Full
Dalje
materials,
kasno.
full
Čekaj da
loadout.
proverimo. Sekunda.
And with the 2 eliminations, they also have a decent amount of damage, so
Sekunda, brate.
I like the odds for Thomas HD and
Sekunda,
Queasy
nije
in this
kasno,
match,
a?
but right as I speak, Queasy gets cracked. I do
Šta?
not know from where.
Queasy
The
krekan.
tables
Dobro,
still
nije
turn
dead.
quickly here.
Queasy je krekan, ali nije dead.
They're just eyeing them
Heroes
from
i
above.
destru, majku da
I
vam
feel like if
jebem.
they would have heard Queasy's shields go down, they probably would have tried to pounce on the situation. I would
Čekaj
say
da
luckily
vidimo
for Queasy
upper,
and
brate.
Thomas, though, is unlike some of the other games that we played so far, is
Čekaj,
they
ovo je
do have a
četvrti game, jel
shorter
tako?
distance to this zone. So
Četvrti
kind of
game.
leaves less to worry about at this stage
Može
of the game, but
predikcije.
what they
Može
don't know is
predikcije,
Destru is doing is just
može.
kind of hunting them, and they're even going towards that same layer. Queasy
Može
looking direction, probably
predikcije.
spotted him out the last
Ajmo,
second. Blessing
Queasy.
in disguise there, because now they're able to prepare for a fight that may or may not happen.
The second time, Destru has tried to play it a bit slow
Idemo
here
predikcije.
and find an opportunity, but once again unable to. As the awareness from Thomas HD and Queasy has paid off here, as they'll just refarm now what they used up to build these boxes.
Imate
and
2 minuta za
from what I can
predikcije,
see
malo
is
su
they are not
drugačije
worried
nego
about
do
damage
sad.
at all. They just want to
Pogledajte
prepare
dobro.
themselves for the late game here.
Idemo, što neće?
With 2 games left, it's kind of a situation we would
Zašto
honestly
neće?
would never expected Queasy and Thomas to be in to the start of the season, getting their first eliminations of the
Zašto
day
neće
in that
predikcije?
last game, but you can see that they're heating up. They got 2 more eliminations, the same team that they singled out in that last game as well. So
Čemu je
finally
problem,
probably found a
brate?
game plan to get that early game surge, some extra loot. And if they don't win it here, I can see them try to mimic it yet again. Sky and Scroll just boxing
Aha.
up, changing elevations.
2
towards the
minuta
side
imate
of
za
this
predikcije,
bridge, and with
kreće
40
sad.
seconds left, they're just waiting to see where this next zone pulls before they make it next rotation through.
Sky and Scroll
2 minuta predikcije, ljudi, pročitajte dobro šta piše.
So it's been surprising to see them get eliminated off the start so much, but it looks like this game now they're going to be getting into late game a lot healthier, so hopefully they can make something happen. X-Squeeze now. Another one of the Manny duos that like building those surge bases around this center part of the map.
There's a lot of teams kind of towards this fencing field area. I like that stat. 32 of the players competing today are trying to make their first FNCS Grand Finals. And we've already seen one player achieve it, make it happen. Every season I always see there's at least one duo, one player that really rises to the occasions, takes on the superstars of the region and reaches that Grand Finals. It's all about those learning experiences each and every time you jump out of that battle bus.
Flowberries being popped here. Just trying to get themselves back to a healthy position. Yanis Flixie, though. Looks like they need to make a rotation into zone, so I believe that they're going to head to the launch pad here. Hopefully there's no players on the edge of zone here that are looking back. I highly doubt it, as there's no reason to currently, but
Jona,
you
pa
never really
desi,
know.
bre.
Quick Flowberry Fizz, launch pad. Not only do they get higher up in the sky, being able to cover distance, they can kind of spot out
Nema
all these
ništa,
teams
ja ne
that they're
uživam
about
u
to go
gameovima.
past. 500
Ovi
above the
imaju
damage
mnogo
threshold thanks to
poena,
their early
brate.
game
Mnogo
action.
poena i
One elimination
514 su above.
and a bunch of shots, and
514 su above i izrotirali su vrhunski
where do you want to land?
i
What is gonna be
uživaju,
the perfect
brate.
spot? And there's not
Ne,
very
ne,
many
oni
good
idu na
spots in
njega.
the zone. Most of it is over open water.
Ooh.
Op, op, op,
They found
op,
a
op.
player. There's Destru. They saw him as a solo, but decided against the complete aggression. His duo
Vidjeli
partner
su
now
ovu
behind
dvojicu.
them has taken some shots. Forced both teams to box up.
Čuo sam
Will
da
the
si
box
banao
fight
malo
happen?
Klempu. Koji
Will
je
they
sad
both play
taj
their
u
own game
pičku,
here?
mater
Moppy
Klemp?
Kiro.
Ba te
Still
znam,
a
bre,
little bit to go
Amzi,
before they make it
jebote,
to the
te
edge of the zone.
znam,
Crack comes
čoveč.
through though. Moppy now. Pressure's
Jeo
gonna be on
govna
him.
nešto,
Will
vređa
they
me, ko
continue
zna šta je
applying
radio,
that? Will
brate.
the shots keep coming? Looks like
Ko zna šta je radio,
Not
brate
yet.
moj. Sigurno
That's all
jeo
they need to do
govna
is
za sitne pare,
get
brate.
a couple more boxes here until the inside of the zone.
Back on board this side of the map. Like I said, a lot of it being open waters. It kind of cuts back over towards Brawler Battleground, giving teams at least some land to stand on as soon as it opens up. But Pyros just gets taken down to just very little HP, and Storm Surge isn't helping either. Yanis Flixie talked about them being over 500 above. It's all about a waiting game here. Storm Surge still doing so much damage to those teams around him. Luckily for them, though, Yanis and Flixi cannot hear the Storm Surge until the shields crack, but that's neither here nor there. They go in. Yanis with the first knock. Destru just dropped down to just 30 HP. Luckily gets the banana off in time, but they're still knocking on the doors, trying to make their way into the box.
Pročito sam, Amzi, brate, pročito sam.
To heal up, but it is going to drop down to a 1v1 situation. Destro versus
1v1, ljudi ovdje, 1v1.
Good job for Flixi to try to advance his way in, cancel that revive, and start one of his own.
They're going to trade the revive.
Imam ideju, ej. Ajde dok se ovi revivaju, brate, da vam kažem ideju. Odemo kod onog momka, brate, posle. Ali ko zna dokle će onda streama. Ode nas 10, 5, 10. Uđemo u game, lendamo na jedno mesto, izlutamo to mesto. Istimamo se. Saznamo gde su Jankeza i Armin. Odemo, useremo ih. I livamo game čoveku da streama ko čovek, brate. Odemo, useremo ih, brate, znači opkolimo ih sa svih strana, useremo ih od života i izađemo iz gejma da čovjek može da pravi lepo custome, brate. Ali ne znam do kad će taj momak da streama, brate, a mi gledamo ovdje nešto mnogo bitno. A ti imaju se majmuni, Džoksi, gde ćeš na dvojicu? Zamisli u 2024. majke ti da grifaš custome, brate. Zamisli. Ej, Tomas ubio Moneymakera. Tomas ubio Moneymakera. Kidžo ubio Kuramu. Mile, hoćeš od Arminove majke Facebook da ih se javiš? Dobre, i ona, nisam ja bolestan, ja imam moju porodicu i ženu, brate, i decu. Terajte u pičku mater, koji će mi kurac njegova majka kakvu je budalu rodila greota, brate. Kakvog je majmuna rodila, brate, što psuje mrtve ljudima zbog jebene igrice, brate.
Almost as far away from the zone as you can potentially be, with I believe a majority of the lobby is right now getting the rotations in early.
Yeah, Sim just trying to use the legendary banana, get that little bit of speed.
Još dva gema će igrati, pa i ovdje ima još jedan, brate.
But the longer they take here, you see a lot of the other teams in the minimap overtaking the position. It's going to make it harder
Pa
and
što
harder
imam
for
ja
a
da
team
joj
like
pričam,
this
to
to
je
try
ona
to
trebalo
rotate
davno
later
da
on
vidi.
in the zone.
To je ona trebalo davno da vidi da ga vaspita, brate.
Each and every game they have played here today, but Thomas and Queasy, that little bit of separation could be enough to kind of turn the tides, and that's why you see Queasy slowing down just a little bit, recycling the builds on top of the
612
side
su,
of
a
the
bav
mountain.
što je dovoljno. 640, dobre.
Thomas Queasy on the edge of the cutoff right now.
Ko je
To
bio
qualify
Tuleks u
once again to
trećem
the upper
gameu,
bracket.
a
Last
umro
thing they
brzo.
want is to go back
Umro
to
brzo.
lowers. So either maintain their consistency here and get a decent end game, or finish it off and just get the
Nisam
VR.
siguran, čekaj.
This could be their match, the healthiest they've ever been. Noms and Cringe, 72 below. They have that DMR, so potential to get those tags on the duels rotating in, but they're going to need to take more shots here. Just 17 seconds till zone closes. Maybe use this opportunity while they're getting shot at to trade a couple.
Ovi se timaju i nisu vinali, sramota, brate.
Still 72
Zamisli,
below.
brate, se timaš u 2024.
Shots need to be
Za
connected here.
800 V-Bucks i da ne vinaš, brate.
Yeah, there's really not
Ubij
too
se,
many
brate.
opportunities that they're able to take advantage
Živ je,
of.
živ
You've
je,
got a
živ je.
whole environmental building that's naturally there, crowding one side, players towards the east, not really given opportunities, no shots peeking through. Storm Surge is now going to activate as they fall 120 below the threshold. With a couple persistent shots like that, they're barely going to get above, but it's a whole different feeling as now that they're 92 above. This allows them to kind of prepare just a little bit more for the future, especially with the zone moving up mountains yet again.
Great job seeing that and trying to rotate a bit early.
Ljudi, brdska zona, penjemo se po brdima, brate. Jebena situacija. Ne vidim nigde, brate, vizija, eno ga Truleksić. Vizija ne vidim, Truleksić su na brdu. Truleksić su na brdu.
Potential for another elimination here. His duo partner can group up with him. Player is basically boxed up here, but with such a far rotate, they don't have time to waste here.
Yeah, X-Squeeze doesn't really have builds to continue to fight against this, and there's a huge mountain in his side. I'm not sure what options he's really going to have with the zone now taking him in. He tries to recycle. His teammate is there, doesn't get the Flowberry Fizz. X-Squeeze is going to go down. Buzz really had no choice but to leave him by himself. If he would have staggered
To vam
and
je
waited for the Flowberry
brdska
Fizz,
zona,
he
ljudi,
would
to
have
je
fell
ono
to.
što sam vam
Best
rekao.
case scenario for them is now
Treba
left up
se
to a solo.
popeti uz brdo.
All the
Viko
players
ubio
have been able
Vita.
to rotate early,
Viko
have
je
now
ubio
capitalized on
Vita,
this to
Janis
look
i
back,
Flixi na
take
haju.
shots at the duos that are rotating in late. Janis Flixi,
Ne
one of
vidim
them,
Kvizija
even
nigde.
elevated themselves a bit more.
Trulex i Čičo su
Eighth
se
zone,
popeli, to
closing
znam.
now. Ninth has pulled
Viko
even
ubio
further
X-Forsa.
east to the edge of the water there. As Hijo now might have just
Cringy
found
nom
a
su
good amount
dead,
of loot
Smoky
with the
je
other duo
dead.
taking it.
Top 17.
Not much has been left over.
Just quick fight for the little
Vidim
piece of trouble.
Kvizija
Drops some
gore,
bush
vidim
bombs
Kvizija
and
gore,
that
evo
being
ga.
Hero just
Vidim
on the side
Kvizija
of the
gore.
mountain, hoping to go
Evo su,
unnoticed.
evo su, idu rotacija.
I think that might have
Idu
been a blessing
rotacija.
there for him. Actually, no. I think they got a far pull on the other side of the mountain. A little bit of a curse from
Još
Thomas
jednom.
Squeezy from high ground.
Dobre,
dropping
stani.
down to the ultimate low. They find themselves
Možda i
positioned just
pametno.
right above as it goes down this mountain. That's going to allow for them to stagger
Šesto
themselves
su
a
abav.
little bit. Look back,
Šesto
try to
su
find some
abav,
damage,
chillaju
try
što
to
se
find
toga
some eliminations
tiče.
before they continue moving
Neverovatno.
forward. While
Znate
Janis
šta
Flixi,
će
they
da
take a
bude?
launch pad right
Vratit
above,
će
and
se
they're just gonna
zona
float
gore na
their way
brdo.
down. Let alone
Svi
team
će
build
da
up towards
pomru.
height, and they can
Trulex i
easily
Čičo
overtake
uzeli
them.
2 kila.
This is one of the most, if not the most
Trulex i
difficult
Čičo uzeli 2
zones
kila.
we've seen in the
Ljudi,
semifinals
vratit
so
će se
far.
zona uz brdo.
Smoky has lost his duo
Svako
partner.
ko je otišao
He
dole
has
ima
the
da umre.
Flowberry to give him that momentum boost and
Trulex
jump down
dead,
this
ozbiljno.
ridge, but it's highly likely
Sad sam
that the
vidio
zone
2
is gonna
kila
pull
su
right
uzeli.
back up. So you can see the players trying to keep themselves
Top
elevated
14.
and stay more on the top side of this hill. 5 more seconds
Ovog
left.
su
The zone
razvalili.
pulls back. Howley,
Top
Nefrizi
12.
might have to climb back up.
Yeah, just unfortunate. No builds in the middle of the
Thomas i
water.
Kvizi
It's
chillaju.
going to be an easy elimination for them.
Oni su
As
na
Thomas
haju, što je
Squeezy
dobro.
still holding strong to their position,
Nisu
saving the
padali
gas
dole,
as
ovo je
long as
dobro.
possible. The Buell Relvis try to attack from the other side, catch them off guard, but their awareness is just top notch right now. 4 eliminations so far. They're looking to extend that lead.
Puti jače je umro.
Squeezy just looked like he was in a tough spot, forced to separate Thomas
Ne vidim
momentarily. As
Čiča,
high ground,
Viko i
you look
Pink
up, it's
na
gonna be a
haju.
new team right above Pink
Viko
and
i Pink
Vico.
na
With
ultima
how
od haju.
little time they've actually
Zona
spent
kao
on
što
the
sam
high ground.
rekao,
If they can
penje se uz
solidify a
brdo.
win here, that will be
Kao što
perfect.
sam rekao, zona se
Right as
penje
they
uz
had
brdo.
it, though,
Ko je
got
pao
cracked,
dole,
and it's
taj je
now
gotov.
Janis Flixi, who have overtaken the throne, looking to hold on to it. They still have the loot, 100 tag, cracking
Kvizi
his
Thomas gore.
opponents, but Thomas HD
I
as
ne,
well.
jebem
22
ti
HP,
sve!
gets boxed, gets knocked. Queasy now left alone.
Yeah, he was stuck by himself, but they do have the Grim
Bravo,
Gate.
bre!
If anybody can do it, it's gonna be
Bravo, Queasy!
nice shot. First one's gonna go down. He needs to
Uzo
figure out a way to
Macemalo,
get that loot, but he doesn't
bravo!
really have much build.
Dvojicu je
Back to
usro.
back, Jack. Queasy does it again.
Dvojicu je
Another
usro,
elimination,
uzo malo
and
maca.
all the resources, all the builds at the perfect time.
Bravo,
Queasy
bre!
charged up, looking electric as he continues to zone. 3 elims on the board, boxed up once again.
Bravo!
Has a good amount of materials, but be careful here. The zone is
Janis
elevating.
Flixi na
You gotta
haju.
climb the mountain.
And Janis
Oni će da
Flixi,
vinaju game.
they're just looking down
Janis i
from
Flixi
above,
će da
focused
vinaju
on
game,
one
brat.
team at a time, pressuring them to fall down.
Viko
into
dead.
the sharp tank
Pink je
that is
solo.
down below. Vico gets
Pink
eaten up.
fighta.
Pink now with no build, trying to find his way
Pink
up.
fighta,
Big
ne može se
flank,
popne.
big shot, just trying to
Može,
manage
može,
his way up the
popeo se.
mountain before he runs out of time.
3
One
builda.
more tick to take.
Nula
Pink
buildova.
with the hair on his chin,
Nula
chin
buildova,
escapes
nema buildove.
narrowly to survive.
Ubio je Kvizija, jebem ti majku! Ubio je Kvizija. A vinali Flixijanis.
High ground, zone after zone. Pink and Vico, they may have rented it for a short time, but they returned it back to Janis and Flixi, who have smooth sailed in
158
one of
Vasquez
the
free game-a,
hardest
sad ćemo da
zones
vidimo.
of the weekend. To not
Kvizi
only
nije
take the
vinao
game,
ljudi,
but take their
ali
spot in
je
that battle
dobar
bus. Destination
plasman napravio.
finals.
Ovo mu je najbolje što smo ga gledali u zadnjih 2 meseca, ja mislim. Ovo je najbolje što je uradio Kvizi u zadnje 2 meseca.
Yeah, and they're one of the teams, they missed out on a round 4 weekly qualifier. They were forced to play through the
Kako
lower
bre
bracket,
ubi
but they
Kvizija,
weren't scared.
brate
They didn't
moj.
back down from a challenge. They played a couple
Mrtvi
games
Pink.
out and they finally have solidified their place. And honestly,
Mrtvi
just
Pink,
like so
evo
many
vam.
other teams we've seen so far, I feel like it wouldn't be a finals
Evo
without
vam
Janis
poeni
and
za
Flixi.
predikcije.
With 4 games
Kvizi
down,
Thomas
there's
top
just
12,
one
da.
more game to be played
Da.
out today to see who is going to be the last duo making it to grand finals. But before that,
Još jedan game ima, ajmo da vidimo mi upper bracket. Da vidimo mi upper bracket. Trulex i Čičo 16. Trulex i Čičo 16, umrli malo pre 17 sa 2 kila. Kviz je 15. Kviz je 15 i bio je 4. sa 6. To je dobro. to ih ostavlja u upper bracketu. To ih ostavlja u upper bracketu za sutra i jedne i druge, ali bi valjalo. Imamo Janisa i Flixija koji su kvalali u grand finale, Čapa i Tenija, Vena i Tysona, Svizije i Vanjaka. Još jedan game za večeras i još jedna šansa. Kiki Dominator kaže, au mi 150 u skrimovima. Šta 150? Poena ili 150 mesto ili šta, brate? Ne znam. Znači, ljudi, idemo dalje. Znači, Merstaš i Mali Buća 14. Kvizi Tomas 15. Trulek Sića 16. 150 mesto u skrimovima. Pa što ste toliko loši, brate? Pa što toliko ste loši, brate? Pa najgori ste, šta je? O čemu se radimo? Sigurno vas jebe internet, brate, ili ruke, ili šta? Pa što 150, brate, što najgori? Pa nemoj tako. Pa kako, brate? Pa kako, brate moj? Pa 150, jel to dobro? Stani. Stani, ja se ne razumem u Fortnite, brate. Kaži mi, jel to 150 mesto dobro?
Yeah, and that's where Pink and Vico, they felt the comfortability. You see them start to build up a little bit, thinking that height is going to be free, but finally they come floating down. They re-challenge for the high ground right here.
Jeli, Kiki?
Everybody's sailing. And this moment right here, I love this.
Ja se ne razumijem u politiku. Pa ja nisam političar, ja sam streamer i mesar, brate. Ja sam po profesiji mesar, radim u mesarskoj industriji, koljem po kućama, brate. I tako to. Ali se bar malo razumem u Fortnite i znam da je top 150 u skrimovima bruka i sramota. To čak, brate, ne dođe ni na tabelu, brate, koliko ja znam. Tako da, jedi govna, idi grindaj, idi, brate, budi bolji. Nemoj da se hvališ sa 150 mestom, kad budeš bio top 5, dođi da mi se javiš. Hvala na razumevanju, idemo dalje. Trenutno top 25 je 84 poena. Još jedan game do kraja. Još jedan game do kraja. Vitiša, Moki nisu tu u top 25. Moneymaker nije u top 25 i tako dalje. Ajmo mi da vidimo lower bracket. Šteta izgleda da u lower bracketu danas loše za naše. Chris i Squee imaju plasman. Chris i Squee imaju plasman u upper bracket. Po ovome imaju plasman u upper bracket. Chris i Squee dobri danas, juče katastrofa. Baš katastrofa. Miša i Luša nemaju kval. Mongrel Savage nemaju kval, 156. Kenny Vaske 158 poena. Vraćam se odmah, neko plače tamo, moja deca. He decided to mute my microphone on my behalf because he was scared about it happening again. But Levin, I promise I'll be on best behavior if you don't infiltrate. I mean, the boys have just talked through what a fantastic endgame Janice and Flixie had, and I think that it's a sign of, or at least a trend of all the games we've seen tonight. It's not just those fantastic end games, but it's actually just well thought out game plans. Because actually, even from the second zone, we could see Janice and Flixie choosing to make those long rotations, using the launch pads to great effect, and they look ready for the grand finals, Mini.
Yeah, it was a really nicely played endgame from those guys. We saw them padding, of course, as Staxxgt mentioned, saving so many of those materials as well. Just gave them the green light to go up on high. Of course, the zones definitely helped as well. When they helped Janice and Flixie, I think Thomas and Queasy were one of the teams that really suffered under those circumstances. We saw Queasy trying to go for a little bit of a solo clutch there at the end, which he did very well, right? We saw some really nice clips from him, some really nice shots with that gatekeeper shotgun. And I was expecting a big game from these guys, just based off of their history. We know how good they can be under clutch and pressure situations, and this is really a pressure situation for them, because if they had a bad game here, they might have dropped out of that upper bracket level.
Yeah, I mean, these guys really need to start to, thinking about what this last game looks like. They're getting closer. They've been ramping out throughout the day. I think that game was a bit of a tough zone, like Frankie was trying to say before I completely muted her mic so nobody could hear her waffling. And yeah, no, I think these guys clearly have the minerals again, right? I hate to be a broken record. It's Thomas.
Kenny Vaske 77 158, treba im mnogo, imaju samo 3 gejma. Treba im mnogo poena, brate. Za top 30. Koliko je trenutno top 30? Čekaj, moram da refrešam još jednom. Trenutno top 30, 204 poena. Oni imaju 150 i nešto. Jebik. Jebi ga, nije dobro, nije dobro. Nije dobro, ajmo dalje.
I think there's a couple of them that have looked really good. I think the ones that obviously
Nije dobro. Outmo i Andis, 9 gameova, 102 poena. Sve na placementima umiru. Gledajte ovo, brate. Gledajte Outmo i Andis. 25, 29, 34, 27, 35. Levi over završili 46. Umrli zadnji game na landu i završili. Možda su u još jednom gameu, ali ne znam. Ovdje su umrli na landu odmah. Jebik. Jebi ga. Ajmo da vidimo šta kaže Bup. Pa da se vratimo. Evo ga kreće.
What the fuck?
Op, op, op. Op, 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 op.
Holy fuck, the tracking.
Šta bi?
They can still play 2 endgame chat. Q times. Uh-oh. By the way, chat, if Kadu and Cheatin die right now, they are guaranteed lower bracket tomorrow. Kadu and Cheatin basically need to win this last game.
Mali Buć je živ, ali Merstaš je dead. Mali Buć je živ, ali Merstaš dead.
Does it Kadu a win?
Mali Buć ima samo pištolj.
It's still a big ass hill to climb after this, you know? So your team in the feed just got killed by chains as well. Lovely. Reckless and up is now uncon because Flixie and Grands are scrolling lowers. Potentially. I mean, Skull could still qualify off this game, Panda. All they need is like a top 4 or something.
O, Mali Buć će da umre.
Or top 3 with like a good amount of kills.
Pobeži.
It's never over until it's over. The
Ovi su
problem is they're
1 na
both
1.
gonna get third party by
Ovi su 1 na 1.
what do you call it? By art skill here in a second. Why can't we hear the comms? Because we don't have the comms, it's just screen share.
Kuda se on provlači, brate moj.
Bottom 25 of upper bracket right now is guaranteed lower 3 tomorrow. Nice shots. I didn't even realize they're wearing double skins for Kimilic. That's so cute.
Šta rade ova dvojica, jubi ga, brate. I sad mu densa. I sad mu densa, i densa, i densa, i densa. Našima ide Ivki onako, brate. Nije baš dobro. Nije baš dobro.
Upper bracket tomorrow might be uncontested because Yandy is also doing badly in lowers. So we might be shaping up for an uncontested Grim Gate for Malibuka Mustache this season. They might have successfully alphaed Grim through all the qualifiers. Which would be crazy. And then we'll see the true power of Grim Gate in the EU, you know? Zennis has 102 points. Yeah, he's cooked. It's over for him then.
Zendi ispušio, brate. To mu je karma od juče. To mu je karma od juče, brate. Ispušio ga Zendi.
I wouldn't say EU's over, but definitely a good spot, you know? They'll definitely have a better chance of winning. Sandy's gonna make a clutch. Well, if he has 102 points right now, man, he needs a 30 bomb in his last game. So he needs to basically pull a Chapatini. Robin and Jew might con.
Ovo je zadnji game, brate. Ovo je zadnji game u Aperu.
True.
Ovo sad što on gleda, ovo ne znam šta je, brate.
But I rate Malibu and Merstash more than Robin and Jew.
Ali vidjeli smo Malibuće i Merstash su ubili Kidova
That
i...
was the first one. That was actually great by
Evo,
Malibu and Merstash.
ubili
Unfortunately, he
su
wasn't
Kido
able
i
to stay
Chicken,
up.
evo gledamo ponovo.
This right here, he had all the important pieces in this fight. He knew he went right back on up. He knew there was really no exit. And that was a nice shot and a huge mismatch in the loadout as well, and he played it perfect.
Sato and Alex will swap over to opposite side of the map, basically, up against Nova Rabid. This engagement, though, when you got two players boxed up like that with a good amount of materials and heals, you can take shots, but if you want to fully finish the fight, it's either you get in or you full piece your opponent, but that's going to be difficult when they have literally, what, there's that 8-9 boxes to work with, a whole maze basically built. You can see the opponents quickly decided not worth it to take that fight. Pink and Vico, though, so many shield fish to work with. This is perfect for taking engagements early on, being able to heal so quickly. Going to put them at an advantageous position in these box fights. It was Destru and his duo partner, though, who were playing a little sneaky in the last match, trying to kind of wait it out and find those angles onto opponents, but confidence is all I'm seeing from Vico as he continues to apply that pressure.
Yeah, this is kind of like their same path.
Chelsea pobedio Nottingham Forest,
They try to
majke.
take the top of the Olympus statue. And it's going to be interesting with the team already beating them there. You see Pink has already made his way up as well. They're ready to kind of get aggressive
Arda
for
Guler
their
dao gol
space.
za Real.
This is something they've been doing almost every
Brahim
single game
Diaz
so
i
far.
Brahim
And with the
Diaz.
launch pad there, with
Bravo.
the Flowberry Fizz, they're going to continue to do it here.
Bravo.
Are they going to land closer to their opponents, though? Are they going to land on them? That's true. Continues to kind of run away in a sense, dropping down Mount Olympus now. But Pink and Vico, I think they're hungry. I don't know if it's dinner time, Jacob, but they want to feast.
Yeah, just like Malibu and Mustache on the other side of Grim Gates. 170 points ensures your spot tomorrow's upper bracket round 3, where you have just
Ritsku,
two
desi,
last
Ritsku.
chances to make the grand finals, most of it being through leaderboard. So they probably feel like, hey, let's start to get warmed up. Whatever happens, happens. Let's play just our normal game. And the way they isolate players out is their normal game. So for them, this isn't too strange of a strategy, but that team down below, they're just fully boxed up. So Pink and Vico got to watch around every one of these corners and not bite off more than they can chew.
Continuing to find options here.
Umiriš?
Vico on the
Ako je,
opposite side of
hvala
Pink,
Bogu.
getting nice angles, but he's
Ako,
also been
Ritsku, ako.
tagged a little bit. Destru forced to heal back up as Pink
Ne,
continues
nikad
to
u
replace as
životu.
many walls as possible here.
Nikad u životu, Moksić.
I believe Vico landing another shot there, cracking one of his opponents. So far, the duel is on Pink and Vico's side, showing not only the confidence, but also the damage that's being dealt. Destru now cracked. Vico down to 12 shield. Good news is, like we mentioned, shield fish, instant replenish of that shield. So right back to 200 effective HP and shield as the fight
To je
continues.
dobro, to je dobro. Neka ga dovedu, Moksić.
Not sure
Neka ga
the odds of them
dovedu,
actually
brate.
disrupting a fight like this,
To je
especially
dobro,
how deep it
brate.
is.
Nek se
The
raspadne.
actual POI is trading shots. Another one as Pyro just gets dropped down to just a little bit of HP. And look how healthy Pink is, and look how aggressive he is getting. He's feeling that confidence, trying to attack from different angles. Cut off the path every single time. Destru finally goes down. Pink high flying from above, separates the opponents just enough to catch him off guard, just like that. Picture perfect play coming out from Pink and
Uvijek su
Vico.
za kill, to je dobro.
Great way to get it done. Now,
To je
fear
dobro.
is what I would be feeling from heroes here. Crouched in the corner like they don't know that he's there.
Pao si na tiketsku.
It's a matter of time before they open up. Knock, knock. It's Pink and
Ti si
Vico.
normalan,
Both elims
brate?
now on the board. Will they continue that confidence and momentum, though, all
Da
the way up to
napadaju
the late
klopa
game?
teško, brate.
They've got a good amount of damage
Teško.
from that. Now it's all about positioning, replenishing the loot that they've used, and making it to the late game.
Hoćemo
Be careful for the
predikcije,
team
je li?
that's above and on the outside of Mount Olympus. But they have more than enough time to figure out what the strategy is next. Kiro and Mappy, 132 points. Definitely well within range of that upper bracket
Ajmo,
spot
ljudi,
tomorrow, but
predikcije.
still have that potential to win a
2
big game
minuta
here.
kreće sad.
We've seen them kind of make it
Krenulo.
very far into some of these games.
Predikcije,
but this
ljudi,
time around,
predikcije u
does look with the
chatu.
zone pulling south, they're gonna
Zadnji
stagger
game.
themselves. They want to try to get some
Već
early
nema
game
ništa, evo
strong
gledamo,
surge,
brate.
so that way they don't have to worry about it as
FNCS.
much later on.
Finn here. And Halo. Trying to kind of figure out what the game plan is. They have a solo in front of them, one of them on the board. So
Predikcije, ljudi!
they've taken out half the team. I assume they know that the other players down here below. Question is, do they want to spend the time playing aggressive? They're not in zone yet, but they're not too far either. It can be a bit risky, but also worth it if they can finish it quickly.
This is
going to be one of those decisions that kind of impacts the rest of your game, win or lose, with the amount of time they are spending inside of the zone. Luckily for them, it hasn't really been too many heal-offs this time around as they continue to push Cheeps further and further back, trying to cut out any path or any chance he has of making things happen. As soon as you see him trying to take some elevation, they immediately pounce yet again, just leave them stuck in the water.
I'm sure a bit of the nerves here are affecting Halo and Finn because they are literally the cutoff of qualifying to the upper bracket at 84 points in 25th spot. So they cannot afford to get eliminated here, and they know that. So they want to play a little extra safe. You can tell they're not going directly in unless they know they can get this elimination. But that's also causing them to waste a lot of time here. As now there's even more players on the edge of zone kind of waiting. Ring around the Rosie. Finally, more shots are getting connected. Just one more left to get the elimination. But how long is it going to take to finish this off? It looks like they got it.
It's good maneuvering around that build with the dashes to try to stay alive. That third party looked like they were going to try to jump on, get some surge, but they immediately disengaged on out. Probably didn't like the look that they were given. Sangil and Marius, you see they already have one elimination so far, and feel bad. It's just an isolated player, half health, so far away from his teammate, really stood no chance. And you can see from the underworld, they have the mythic Harbinger SMG. You have to imagine the medallion is to follow.
With one elimination on the board now, like we saw, it's not enough damage necessarily to play full dead side of the zone, but it's enough to not have to get into any engagements. As we take a look now at Thomas HD and Koji, once again, seen them playing quite passive in the early game here, despite having quite a few duos around them in Mount Olympus and a bit of action. You can tell they really just want to make it to the late game.
Uh-oh. Well, that was looking dangerous for a second. Lunex just drops in the wrong time. Probably trying to play hero with his teammate already going down, but Andalex and Sato, they take him down. And this is a big bounce back. Going down off spawn in game 1, choosing not to fight and disengage in game 2. They're adapting with everything that is being thrown at them at this stage in the game. And now that they got the bunker, going from looking weak, looking from a team that has some weaknesses as well, to probably looking strong again.
I'm trying to think, Jacob, who do I want here? Who am I feeling is going to take that last VR? So many potential names. Merstash Malabuka, Thomas Queasy, Pink Vico. You got any names in mind?
Niko nije uzo
Pink
bunker
Vico,
ovdje.
Malabuka, Merstash.
Niko nije uzo
I think
bunker
they would
ovdje,
be
ej!
my top 2 favorites, but with how well they've been playing, it kind of slips through their fingers at the tail end. So I would actually like to see a duo achieve their first FNCS Grand Finals.
Free bunker za
There's a
njih,
couple of
brate.
them in this lobby, but that's who I'm rooting for.
That's true. Let us know in the chat who you're feeling for this last match of day 2. It's going to secure that last ticket to the Grand Finals of FNCS
Samo je
for
Tenik,
EU
hvala
here.
danas.
Chicho Trulex once again continuing
Evo su.
their storm surge
Evo
strategy.
su.
No bush bombs though. It seems like they have changed up the position a little bit here, so you can see it's interesting. They are playing at a drop spot that's quite centered on the map, but when zone pulls far, they have those options for other ridges that they can build their storm surge base on. But you always want to build it for somewhere you can kind of replenish the materials you use. So if you used brick, you want to build it by a place that's got buildings or at least a lot of those big rocks that you can refarm. You can see here, it could have just been from the build fight. If they did secure those eliminations, there could be extra materials. So making good use of that. Oh, wow. Same reaction. That was scary.
You don't expect somebody to get hit like that on top of one of these towers, especially since you can kind of peek through the cones. There's a lot of information you can gather without really risking anything, but they just kind of get just tagged up with an instant. And now that Rift Island appears, you know, one thing I wanted to say is Trulex and Chicho, you know, contrary to some of the other games, they're built up so close to this Rift Island, so there's going to be a lot of potential shots now that they're on the same level playing field, plus the teams that are boxed up down below that Rift Island that we know like to use those rifts to rotate into the next zone.
Train driving right through too. A lot of momentum here around with the Rift Island. Players up top. Train below. Kurama.
Trulex
You can
iznad
see
Islanda.
actually
Dobro,
what a
brate.
position for Trulex and Chicho.
Trulex I
Kind of
Chicho
fortunately
iznad
enough,
Islanda, brate.
the Rift Island appeared right by their surge
Da,
base,
ne
so now
veruješ.
they kind of just have free pickings.
Kad je
Taking
meni
shots at all
rođeno?
the players
9.
there,
januara.
especially when the rotates come through
Bobby,
later on.
lepo, brate, lepo, Bobby.
There should be a lot of opportunity. Moneymaker for 9 with 46 points. They are on the lower end of the leaderboard here. So currently in lower bracket range for day 3. If they're unable to get a big match here, pressure is on their shoulders. Are they strong enough to stay tall? As they're going to choose to make their way towards the Rift Island for 9 though. I don't know if that was on purpose. Might have missed his drop there a little bit, but you know, you can slip every now and then. It's fine. Just don't fall all the way.
Yeah, luckily he was still kind of gliding down. And one thing about Moneymaker for 9 though is because of their points, they're almost forced into a win scenario just to make upper bracket as well. Like a second place, a third place. They are like 40 points down of where the bubble is at. And then you got to add on the points that teams are going to make it for this game. So if you're a fan of Moneymaker, if you're a fan of Manayan, look for them to have a big game here to try to keep their upper bracket or even their FNCS for the grand finals alive. And with how crowded it is on top of Rift Island, you know they position just on the edge, so that's going to really bolster their storm surge, which is huge, which is very, very needed for them to continue to make it to these end games.
Luckily enough for Thomas HD and Queasy, zone has pulled towards them. How they've been getting damage, I'm not sure. They're in 15th, so it is upper bracket range for this duo. They're playing more for that victory royale.
Daj bre, brate, idi farmaj, majke, ti imaš 90 buildova, šta
Will it
ti
be
je?
back on Mount Olympus? It is.
Ooh.
Is that a blessing or a curse? As
Quizifura-
now, duos will be rotating towards them.
Quizifura
But you can see
lanac
the edge
i
of the zone
katanac.
where the duos will be rotating towards is more the north and west side of this, which is going to be out of vision for Thomas HD and Queasy. So the
Quizifura
only
lanac i
options to
katanac,
get damage
ljudi.
are the duos that are already based up at this POI, which could be a little bit more difficult than if they were more on the edge of
I
zone on the
nema buildove,
congested side.
brate,
So
nije mi
hopefully
jasno.
they've been doing damage.
Yeah, a couple of games ago we saw a very, very similar zone. It went towards Brawler Battlegrounds at the end from the open water up the mountains, and I'm just hoping teams kind of notice little things like that, how it's matching. But Malibu and Mustache forget that point. They found that first elimination onto Serene, tries to go back to back, quickly makes it happen. Much needed for Malibu and Mustache, because throughout these games, not only we see them kind of go down early, have lackluster performances, but it's Storm Surge that has been a crucial part of their game plan that they really haven't had consistency on.
This could be it though, Jacob. When the pressure's on, I feel like this duo performs. We saw them take home last major. Now all they need to take home is a ticket to compete once again in the EU FNCS Grand Finals. They're now 183 above. They've got a decent amount of damage with those 4 eliminations. But you can see there's a lot of duos already based up in zone, which most likely will be looking back, and it looks like Thomas HD Queasy have decided that they need that damage. And the only option of the players close by, huge knockdown from Thomas HD. But now Queasy gets dropped. Thomas now forced to disengage.
Yeah, that's a whole nother team, a third team that came in, because you saw them get a knock on one player at the very minimum. Mount Olympus looking a little bit more crowded than we saw it moments ago, and Thomas now stuck by himself, and his best case scenario is pulling away from Mount Olympus, but chances of that happening is going to be slim to none. So Thomas better get used to being a solo here, because I'm not sure the chances of him getting Queasy back up.
Once again, Thomas playing as a solo. 3rd time I've seen this happen today. But if anyone can clutch it up, I've got confidence in Thomas, just with so many players close by. Even if he takes out one duo, there's another one just waiting for them. They've even pulled the zone once again, but now they're going to be on the congested side. Ideal situation would be have enough damage and now go to the east side of the zone early before the duos start rotating in. But having his duo gone down, he does have a good amount of mats. I mean, he could just play for the zone here.
You know, there might also be a launch pad just outside of Mount Olympus that we see Pink and Vico use a lot that might be in the zone or not too far off where the zone actually is at. 252 damage above the threshold. definitely
Gledaj
nowhere
kako
to
su
go
dropali Kvizija.
other than
Gledaj
getting that
sad ovo,
elimination.
gledaj kako su
And
dropali
kind of see a
Kvizija,
replay
gledaj.
of the fight that we saw
Gledaj
between
kako
Queasy,
je
Thomas,
Kvizij
and
upao
everyone in
dole,
between,
brate.
and just got caught off guard, trying to get aggressive into the box, and almost the tables have turned because we saw Thomas edit the floor on the other side when that player tried to get into his box, just getting out of position, 1-2 steps out of synchronization, costed Thomas his duo.
Marius left alone. Now with 2 players jumping right into his box. Not too many mats to work with. Huge 110 shot. Is he about to clip them? Put them on socials. He needs to make something crazy happen here. A miracle, a blessing, but unable to do so. Stillion. Ammo. 604 above now, but pretty far from zone.
Yeah, this is around like a 4 tick, something like that. They need to hurry up and make it there so that they don't expend a lot of the heals that they're going to need later on in the same game. But I talked about how terrible this zone can be for some if you don't plan ahead. You see almost everybody that's left in the lobby all stacked up on the western portion of the map, slow to rotate, and that is going to be really, really congested. So if we're able to break loose from that position, gain some elevation where the mountain range goes on Mount Olympus, you'll probably have the best chances to take high ground later on in this game.
Just look how many duos are on the edge of this zone. You do not have any freedom to walk around. Pink and Vico now applying more pressure. They say, we got 700 damage. I don't care. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep going for more eliminations. You can see the aggression from this duo does not stop.
Rightfully so. They're probably one of the consistent, most aggressive duos in the lobby left over. Another monster shot, and Storm Surge does the rest. Perfectly played. He turns to a right. Pink finishes his fight as well. It's raining loot. And they're going to get it all to themselves, and you can kind of see changing out that DMR, getting ready for the close range battle. They have a rotation and distance to cover, but with those 2 quick eliminations and all that loot, they're definitely set up and ready to go.
Flowberry, Fizz getting popped here. Fizzing each other up, getting ready for this 7th zone that will start closing in just 7 seconds. All these duos that are on Mount Olympus higher up will be able to take shots on the players rotating in. Let's see how X-Sweeze got it done, though. Nice little box. Put a wall right in Malabuka's face there, stopping his path. Mustache now, though. It's all up to him.
No
builds either. Luckily, he does have some dashes thanks to the coin. He does have the mythic gatekeeper, but as soon as he gets targeted out, a lot of those builds are going to be forced to be used. Luckily for him, he does find some bandages to try to get that HP back on up, and some more in the corner as well. Perfect case scenario for Mustache, but he still needs to find the resources. 4 builds is not enough to rotate from zone to zone with so many teams on that same edge.
Trying to see if Buzz knows. I think he does. The Mustache was there. Luckily enough, the dash was going to save him. But be careful. For how long? 67, 26 twice. Just one more shot needed to connect. Mustache. Can he do it? He does. Knockdown now. Going to get the finish. Chug splashes. This could be huge. Medkits as well. Bit of time in the zone.
100 buildova je našo i sve.
Those dashes, though, might just save him.
Idi u pičku materinu, brat.
Just the loot that he was able to gather is going to keep him alive, but Thomas losing Queasy early on in the same game. We saw both live and the replay. 81 below. This is where it does get dicey. He does have a good amount of heals, but if he tries to out-heal this, he's going to leave himself with almost nothing left. Still having to look for Surge. He knows somebody's on the other side. That's Alkeensy who lands that first shot, backing him up little by little. The last of the splashes now going out as he continues to fall further and further below the threshold. Chain of Hades comes out. Lands a couple of shots with the damage, but it's still not enough to get above the threshold.
Legends playing as solos. Thomas HD, Mustache. They need to make something happen. Thomas goes down. Hootie now also sliver of HP, about to make it out of the zone, but for how long? Has a medkit and Flowberry. Just needs time to use it. Shots coming through every angle possible. Flowberry for the momentum. Nice drop down. This could be a huge elimination, but he's got to be careful.
Still almost roughly 20 points shy of where the bubble was at when the game started. So even though one team will advance to the grand finals, there's so many teams still trying to fight, keep their upper bracket life alive. And Hootie, with everything on his shoulders, he's able to get the med kit, but Mustache goes down. Him and Malabuka are now out of this game, but don't fret. They have their upper bracket spot for tomorrow secured.
Andalex, Sado connecting to builds below them. Are they the highest team is what I'm wondering. I think they are because they're not looking up. Will they hold on to it though as they get chopped down? Danger now for the duo. Be careful. Do not get dropped into Mappy's box. Nice 121, cracking him. Gives them a bit more time now to build right back up.
Makes him really think twice about attacking the high ground. Really got caught off guard by Andelix, so focused on Sato. And they're ready for this next zone to pull over, and it's going to go up the mountain yet again. They're going to be in prime position. But there is one team trying to close the distance, taking second height, ready to challenge them, especially if they have that banana and the Flowberry Fizz or any leftover dashes.
Gonna pop that just in case they do get chopped here. Preparing for the worst as they continue to build on up. Being able to connect would be ideal, but I don't see a world where they don't get chopped before then. Vico Pink now. One of our top duos here. Still up together. Both looking healthy. Solid loadout. Solid amount of damage. Could this be their match? It's a possibility. They just have to keep playing.
Yeah, very well could be.
Yeah,
Sato and Andelix finally find themselves safety above the mountain before water falling down just to try to connect. Give himself that extra bit of reinforcement. As Vico Pink, they get spotted out. They just get tore up by Andelix. And those are those situations right there where everything's just looking so good for Pink and Vico, and then in the blink of an eye, everything comes crumbling down.
Now, forced to get ahead here. They don't want to give up the position they have up top. Mopping Hero from second height to now being a bit in the dirt here. Forced to rotate around the edge of the zone. And now they're difficult one, pulling right back up the mountain. The players down below need to find a way up as Chicho picks up Andelix.
Let's go!
This is big right here, Chicho, Trulex. Trying to go ahead and sneak around the side. They might have taken this high ground for now. Taking away from Sato, who's still down below.
Peni se sad na planinu, majke vam ga nabijem u pit. Oni ne vide ništa. Oni ne vide ništa od magle, joj bre.
And this is the thing, because those same clouds
Ludilo.
cloud them from getting spotted and
Ludilo ne vide
targeted
od
from the low
magle
ground.
ništa.
It's getting a little foggy. That's Vico now.
Kakva sabotaža,
Together
brate.
once again. Mopping Hero building up. They're saying we know how important the high ground can be. Is this the right moment to take it? As Trulex and Chicho continue to build up, they do not want to let anybody overthrow them. Kiro now dropped down. Looking to see if they can look back and make something happen, but Trulex still up above now. Dropping down, securing the high ground. They've done it.
Dobre, ima maca, ima maca. Ima dovoljno maca.
Just to make sure they have such high
Ima dovoljno
elevation and they
maca.
finally reunite before they jump on down, all the way down at that.
Ne, ovo je glupo, ne, ovo je nemoguće. Zašto je post kroz dole?
Trulex, he made a lapse in judgment. This is the moment.
Ne, zašto je post kroz dole, dobre.
Might have dropped too far.
Dobre, 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 još uvijek je dobro. Ali nema maci. Dobre, bravo, Chicho! Ne! Bravo, Chicho! Top 6.
Uh-oh. Trulex goes down, though.
Trulex
Chicho's down to 36 HP.
Trulex
This is going to come down to if anybody looks up. Any
36 health, on nema ništa. Ne, morate, bra! Kako si pao?
Taken down by Pink and Vico.
Can they make it happen? Pink and Vico, the most consistent duo of the semifinals yet to take home a victory royale. Now just 3 duos up, 4 players, both grouped up on low ground.
Kako je pao dole skroz, brate?
It's all solos against Pink and Vico. Karmi goes down. 2v1 situation. They waited until the last game to prove their dominance, and all they have to do is go through Lens, who instantly gets coned off. Pink and Vico, every single angle is going to be taken, trying to cut off the high ground. Medkit being used just to make sure he has enough HP and shields to outlast this fight. He is slipping through a lot of these builds, keeping Pink and Vico on his toes, but it's just not enough. The numbers game, Pink and Vico finally do it from the most consistent team to the final team to advance to finals.
They have
Ma da, sutra top 25, dali, brate.
Every single match, and the
Kako sad, bili su na haju, brate.
They finally have broken the high ground
Bili su na haju, brate.
and gotten that victory royale and their ticket to the grand finals.
Just well played.
Bili su na haju, čekaj da proverim lower bracket samo, da proverim lower bracket. Chrissy Squid 12 i 290, treba im otprilike 15 poena. Treba im otprilike 15 poena za kval. Samo da vidim lower bracket pa idemo na ovaj. Mongrali Sević 210, jedan game. Nema šanse da naprave 100 poena. Mongrali Sević nema šanse da naprave 100 poena u jednom gameu i da kvalaju. Ne. Da.
In the grand finals. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of thinking they were gonna do it through consistency, but they got it with the VR. That's it for me and Jacob today. We'll be back tomorrow, but we still have to break down the matches. So Frankie11Mini, what do you got for us?
Thank you very much, guys. And
Out
you know
moji
what,
Andi
Pink
završili.
and Vico, surely they
126.
would have qualified
Nisu,
for
brate,
the grand
pogledaj.
finals next
25,
weekend, regardless of if
29,
they got
34,
victory royale or
27,
not.
35,
But it just
28.
feels so sweet to see them do it in the last game of the night, Mini Minor, especially as they did it from the low ground.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we spoke about it at the beginning of the show. What can they do to get the win? I said they might just take height. Levin said, you know what, they can do it from low, and Levin was right there in the end. I think Pink's a smart guy. He's just content farming. You know, he's just content farming. He's leaving it to the last minute. He's streaming all the games. He wants to qual at the end and really make it
Cherry, Robin New, Scrap Skrill, Glupši Trexer.
It was a nicely played
Tu su
game, and it
Chrissy
just showed us
Squid.
exactly what we can expect.
Tražim Vasketa sad. Nep side drop 35 i nisu uspeli, ali još nije gotovo. Ovo još nije gotovo. Tražim Vasketa, ne mogu da ga nađem. Miša, teško. Teško, nema to pojma. Revsgar, Hellfire završili, nisu kvalali.
They've shown that they can be consistent. They've shown that, you know, they can win a game now. This weekend was a test for them. This weekend was an opportunity to practice. There's not been many high-level set lobby formats for them to practice in. And so this, I'm confident that this practice will be very, very useful for them going into next weekend, the grand finals. This is a team that I think many of us as fans of these guys just want to see them win an FNCS, right? I think they are talented enough to do so. And so hopefully we
Znači samo Chrissy Squid imaju šansu.
Definitely that consistency is going to come in handy next weekend during
Vaske
the
nema
finals.
šansu,
Let's take a
gotovo.
look at the other 4 Victory Royale winners
Ajmo mi
from
da
today who
vidimo,
put their spot in the
brate,
grand finals
tabelu
and some
upper bracket. Da mi vidimo tabelu upper bracketa, znači Viko Pink, kvalali Grance, Janis Flixi, Chap Teni, Veno Tyson, Suizi Vanjak. Trulex je 10. Merstaš imali buća 15. Šta? Aha, evo ga, uplaši se. Uplaši se, brate, majke mi. Tu je, u aperu je, brate. Tu je kviz u aperu, 120. Uplašio sam se, brate moj. Aj ti to, 5 sa 4, brate. Ne, sutra se igra manje gameova, ja mislim po 3. Trulex Čiću top 11, da. Ko se kladio na da, uzeo poene. Bili su 5. sa 4 kila. Za top 25, za upper bracket trebalo je 112 poena. 112, brate. I tu je ušao Tus i mnogo mi je drago. Mongrali Sević nisu kvalali, baš mi je drago, brate. Tus i Karmi su ušli u top 25 i baš mi je drago. Šteta za duo koji mnogo volim, to su Viti Smoky. Ali jebi ga, Fire Hunter nije kvalo. Moneymaker nije kvalo, baš mi ga žao, koga jebe. Ali oni imaju šansu sutra. U top 15 su lower bracketu, a Trulex Čićo i Merstaš Mali Buća i Kvizi, oni imaju šansu sutra u upper bracketu. Evo ako ne znate kako to ide sutra, evo ga. Evo ga. Znači sutra iz upper bracketa 25 ide u grand finalse, iz lower bracketa ide 15. 3 meča se igra kao što vidite. 3 meča se igra sutra i u upper bracketu i u lower bracketu. Moraš da budeš, znači sutra, top 15 u loweru i top 25 u upperu. Bravo, Džoksi, bravo, legendo. Jeli, Džoksi, ti majke ti igraš one custome? Kaži mi, jel se do ona dva debila i dalje timaju, brate? Jel se one dva debila i dalje timaju, brate? Nema više njih. Džoksi, ja i Bobi hoćemo da igramo, brate... Zero build. Kad si slobodan, brate, da te kerijamo? Ubili tebe, aki se jebi ga. Posle gejma, ništa, čekamo te, brate. Čekamo te. Ajmo mi da gledamo Bupa za to vreme, da vidimo Bup šta kaže, brate. Znači, lower bracket. Lower bracket, upper je rešeno. To je to. Naši su u upperu. Gledamo sad, pratimo lower bracket. Hris i Skvi imaju šanse. Vaske nema šanse. Andiz nema šanse. Šteta, brate. Ajmo mi da vidimo Bup šta kaže, brate.
Speaking like he's him, yeah.
Evo ga Veno. Evo ga Veno, Drekavac, intervju sa Venom.
Your girlfriend that changes a man. He's got a swagger, yeah.
Odo da uzmem nešto da jedem dok gledamo Bupa. Sad ću doći.
Because a lot of teams haven't experienced the grand finals, and like I said, things are getting harder and harder and harder. You have to be like coming up with new strats every day, strat for every game. You can't just have one game plan, because you can have a game plan for day one, day two can be completely different. So the next few days / like week.
God, is he gonna pick up the vape on stream?
I wanna practice our mid game, improve that, because like I said, Surge is king, and if you have a perfect mid game,
don't hit the vape on broadcast. Would they even? They'll blur it, right? Surely.
Well, Benno, thank you so much for chatting to us. I heard that you're going to be making an announcement. We were checking out your Twitter. Can you tell us anything about that?
I'm going to be announcing my new org on my stream very, very soon, straight after this interview. I'm very happy to join them and represent for this grand finals. I'm happy it could all get done so quickly.
There it is.
Especially because I'm joining such prestigious players.
I wonder which org you're talking about, chat.
Ooh la la. Where can we watch that stream?
Emphasis on the ooh la la.
TV/VennoFN, and you can check my Twitter out, twitter.com/VennoFN.
Fantastic. It's like you've done these interviews before. Benno, congratulations.
That's wild, huh?
Qualifying for the grand finals next weekend. We'll see you there.
He got the V-Box. He got the V-Box.
A biento. Well, you heard the man. You're going to have to open up a new tab and head over to Venno's stream to go.
Chat, tell me I don't have aura. I don't have aura?
He has aura.
Take off the hood. The hair's a bit messy. Sure.
He's got aura.
I'm not taking off the hood.
So I think that's probably a worthwhile
Already spotted it
way to
in
spend
your Twitter replies. Well, they've announced it already. So I'm going to pull it up quick, and we're going to be happy. We are going to be happy is what we're going to be. Chat. Oh shit. Fuck it. I'm a couple drinks down me, but I've joined Carmine Corp for the upcoming Saudi FNCS. I'm going to be playing Saudi with Malabuka Mursat and this beautiful, I'm not going to say, oh, he's 18 for that. Beautiful man Swiss.
He's 18.
Joining a French org. I'd be happy to win. Not the best picture. We don't look at that picture. We don't look
it's
at
a Photoshop.
We'll retweet it. Chat, what are we tweeting out? Oh shit.
Dude, he can't. You know what's awkward now? He can't talk shit about the French.
The biggest org in the world, guys. I'm so glad to join.
He can't talk shit about the French anymore. He's conning French teams over at fencing. They're eating good. They're making money.
Hashtag KC. Wait, I can't remember if that's the thing I meant to hashtag.
Oh my god, he's milking.
Let me double check.
He was milking the announcement. Nice. Congrats to Venno. That's sick, bro. That's insane. Malibu, Merstash, Venno, and Swizzy in Kameen Corp. That's a fucking roster. Holy. One of them is winning FNCS this season, right? Like, the way that sounds. God damn. Is this the org that said was one of the biggest orgs? Yeah, it's an insanely, hugely massive org. It's, yeah, unfathomable size of org. They're nuts. That's crazy. Good shit. Savage and Mongo won't do good without changing their draw spot. We'll see where the motivation lies for next season, you know?
Another team moving to the right too.
You have any what?
Wonder, Savage said the goal was
Šta je bre
to
sa
qualify
slikom?
LAN, you know? Is the motivation still there after not making it?
Šta je Savić rekao da mu je
Someone landed to the spot next to the cave.
bitno da kvala LAN?
There's a few teams, nothing like of
Jebo
great
ga LAN.
teams, you know?
Ne, oni ne mogu ovo, brate, da prođu.
Mongo buys reaction seem to be a bit motivated, yeah. I'd say this season Mongo and Savage are for sure a lot less. They were a lot less motivated, I think, compared to before, for sure. Like I think they got on the grind a little bit late, you know. They went on holiday. Like they only really started playing scrims and grinding the week before FNCS started, you know. Whereas the season before this, they started pretty much at the start of the season at all. So someone took Veno's name. He can't change it. Oh, that was gonna be obvious. That was kind of obvious it was gonna happen, but yep. Can this guy even qualify 174? I don't think he can, right? Well, there's one team though that is pretty important to look at. Oh shit! Actually, no. Polisa and Snazy are pretty much guaranteed upper bracket, boys. Which means that fencing is not over yet. 302 points for Podosai and Snazy. We may still have a contender.
Hvala you upper.
Over fencing.
Hvala Krpež.
Now it's French on French violence in fencing. The spot is shit? Yeah, the spot's pretty shit. It is what it is. Holy fuck.
I need 150.
Joined Kameen Corp, 1,000 likes in 1 minute.
Nice, come. We're gonna have free rotate.
Veno ušao u tim. Veno i Svizi.
I have 200 meter.
Veno i Svizi.
The French aura is
Hvala,
insane.
Marek.
Alright, let's take a look at leaderboard real quick for upper bracket chat. Because we got distracted. So, upper bracket for tomorrow is Tus and Carmi, Deshu and Piros. Queasy and Thomas barely make it in. Whew. If they didn't have that last game, they would have been lower bracket, but they made it. Babo, we got Trash, Zohan, Howling the Frizzy, Total Cheeps, Cringe and Nom, Splash and Fat, Alex God, Malibu Mustache, Walks and Pixie, Alex and Sato, Kurama Werect, Matt Pikiro, Chulix and Chicho, Lens and Tiddy, Ralvis and Dabo, Atenzi Panzer, Yarko Darkus, and then Yarko and Darkus, sorry. And then the team is going to lower bracket tomorrow. Sky and Scroll, Bad Sniper, Cheatin, Alexi, Nakes, Lunex, Akira, Demis, Clown Naxforce, Amos, Cringe, Cherry Jake, Buzz and X-Squeeze, Sango and Marius, Vortex Belusi, Astro Artsco, Hottie and Hydro, Robin and Fast Roki, Prism and Casper, Moneymaker for Nyan, Good and Enforcer, Rabbit and Nova, Firehunt and Valerie, Kurwan Hedra, and then Wheat and Shamaki. So these guys all have to get top 15 tomorrow in order to make it to Grands in 3 games. So I think we're going to lose some big boys.
Ne znam šta je lakše, brate. Sutra 25 u upperu ili 15 u loweru.
Venom said daily streams. Ooh, okay.
Ne znam šta je lakše.
Important question. Do you think Teeny and Chap cheat? Magnus, that's not an important question, bro. I think you're misconstruing the word important here. It's honestly not any sort of important question at all, but no. No, I don't think they do. I don't know. You seen what Veno said? I assume. What else did he say? I want to hear your take. Again, whenever someone says they're cheating, I always say no. I have no opinion. Do you think Della will get top 30 in lowers? I don't know. How many points do they have, Noms? Savage is trying to spam in Savage x Veno. That is not happening.
Kakve budale.
Does Savage chat really think he's dropping Mongol?
Kakve budale. Savage u chatu pišu Savage I Veno za sljedeću sezonu. Duo. Oni su retardirani, brate.
Savage is staying? Well, yeah, obviously.
On farm, on revient là-bas, c'était là où on était. Normalement, c'est assez safe.
They got Bloodx until August. The viewership was good this season. They gotta start grinding a little bit earlier, you know? That's it. Keep in mind, chat, FNCS is in 30 days.
Ej, tačno, pravo je. FNCS je za 30 dana.
30 days from now. There's not much time left to improve, you know? Like, you gotta get straight into it again.
Pravo je skroz jebot.
What do you mean?
Goblin ne znam.
It
Ali vidiš da je FNCS, brate, tačno za 30 dana.
Major 3 chat is June 14th.
Faites-moi un putain de bunker de baiser maintenant. 205 au-dessus de la storm.
So in literally 33 days from now is first qualifier.
14. juna je prva runda FNCS-a, ej!
33 days from now.
Ej, bre!
Arrache-le.
Probably can't play Heat next season while you're going on holiday. I mean, yeah, it is summer
Alo,
holiday time,
14. juna je već FNCS.
6 days before my last
Da.
exam. Fuck.
Open si.
Bafo, 270. Oh, Bafo can make it here. Does Bafo get to 310 points?
Qua solo qua fuori.
To drop a meteor on Stoic? True.
Sono pula da lui. Vieni qui. Sono solo qua da qualche parte. Qua. Una dita.
Neđo.
No shotgun's crazy. Oh, you found a shotgun.
Aspetta.
Okay, never mind, he didn't pick up the shotgun.
Build qui, sono chill. Riesci a raggiungermi? Faccio un pull. Chill back.
No fuck.
Andiamo flow. Scendi. Sotto di loro, scendi sotto loro. Mi sono ancora sopra. Attento,
You're
bravissimo.
in Italy on the 19th of June. Nice.
Chill back, vai.
Yeah, these FNCS in the summers are always rough for people, because yeah, families are gonna go on holiday, all that shit. So.
Top 9, 22. Faccio ancora un pull. Sinistra. Vieni qui.
Della ended 263. Damn.
Chilla.
We're about to lose a lot of big teams, I think, here in lower brackets.
Okay.
Uh-oh, Buffo.
Će da uzmu 200 i 310.
Hi. We need Pradaj maximum passion here to qualify. Is he streaming? I would love to see his face cam if he clutches this. No, he's not streaming it. No. I want to see his face cam when he does backflips to qualify upper bracket. Chat, get your ears wet.
Yeah, bam, te nisu kvalovi. Nisu kvalovi.
My bad.
Za malo, ali dobro.
Your ears do not have to be ready, I guess. Yeah.
Ali nema veze.
Detox is done. Just Defend is done. Let's go to 315 for Conan. Alright, Conan's made it into upper bracket. Calasoto is in upper bracket because he's playing with Conan. And Cisse has 202. Savage qualified? Nope, Savage's FNCS is over. He did not qualify. That's a no for the Pred for Bafo.
On en a aucune putain d'idée.
Savage može da ode na...
Does Snazy get top 5 teams?
Savage može da ode na odmor.
Snazy polarize the team. Yo, what's good, Oz?
On est obligé de creuser, de passer dans des endroits où il y a forcément des joueurs. Donc on a trouvé une sortie ici. Pas hésiter à claquer des mats. Attention, on est quasiment à un HP du côté de Snazy. Il faut vite sortir de ce bourbier.
Peanut made over $2,000 on EU. What does that even mean?
Pour le coup, c'est safe. Snazy qui a extrêmement bien survécu pour le moment, mais c'est pas fini.
Did Mongo Savage still run it next season for content? Yeah, absolutely.
Le link qui a été raté pour le moment.
Why not, bro?
Je pense qu'ils ont pas dit leur dernier mot. Ça gratte.
100% they were.
312. Allez.
Still got Blood X, the content is still good. They're obviously very sad that they didn't qualify, but like, you know. I think they're more sad they didn't qualify for the content part of it and being able to stream stuff than them not, like, placing. Maybe they do, I don't know. And at least for next season so far, I haven't seen anything. And next season starts 3 days after Grands as well.
Znači, 3 dana posle grand finale je nova sezona. 14. juna, FNCS.
Oh, that's really heroic. Thank you for the peanut butter fact. Thank you, man.
Allez, il y a 2 mecs qui doivent mourir, 2 mecs.
Grands in 1 week, yeah. Next week, Saturday is Grands. After Grands is done, 3 days on Wednesday is FNCS, is the new season. And then after Grands, there are 26 days left until FNCS week 1. So it's all going very fucking quick. And then by the time FNCS is done in major number 3, you know, we got 2 months until the LAN in September.
A što mora ovo, brate?
A lot of shit coming, bro.
Bože, krpež.
Oh, very quickly.
On prend dans tous les cas, on n'a pas le choix. On n'a plus énormément de construction. Et en plus de ça, c'est du bois, la prédite qui va être mise.
Mora se igra, Bobby. Mora da se igra.
Crazy. I really hope it happens. I really hope it happens.
Oh, on essaie d'all-in, mais je sais pas si c'est passé. On est pour le moment à 3 kills. Je crois qu'on l'a eu, non? On vient de mourir.
Znao sam da će
Got it called up.
On a 332, gratte-moi tout ça.
Hvala li su
Says your Polyside have already made it to upper bracket, so pretty much, I would say Says your Polyside pretty much guaranteed grand finals, which means that Veno and Tayson are pretty much contested going into grands. Holy fuck, you just got 6 kills there. M8 versus KC in the grands, yeah. The battle of the Titan French orgs. Which seasons are broadcasting? Chapter 3, Season 1 and Season 2.
Čini mi se kao da je ovo bio Squee koga je ubio sad. Čini mi se.
Is this Savage's first time not making a grand since the first FNCS? Damn. That hits hard. Nice. Nikov and the French boys are through. Cisse needs to win this game to qualify, I think.
Get it? This guy?
Reseni?
Yeah.
A tankier win, I think, qualifies them into upper bracket here, potentially.
Go here.
Archie's looking with intent because he wants more content.
Chilling? In zone here? Ayub? Ayub.
No.
Come down one. Mini.
Savage out? Yep, Savage's FNCS is over.
Oh, yeah, 300 bills.
Što prekidaš? Gledam FNCS. Almost
On the right.
lower bracket.
Hey, what were you doing?
Jebote, Knori, 12 minuta i sve. Jebem ti reklame.
Du bekommst richtig nice Qualität, die nicht nur bequem, sondern auch stylisch ist. Mit Socken und Unterwäsche hat Snox bereits die Herzen und Kleiderschränke von tausenden KundInnen erobert. Überzeuge dich jetzt selbst und shoppe die Produkte, die am besten zu dir passen.
Du machst uns aus. Starte jetzt bei uns als Azubi durch und beweg mit deinen persönlichen Stärken die Finanzwelt.
Wie wichtig ist dir denn Meinungsfreiheit?
Sehr wichtig, weil sie die Demokratie stärkt.
Man sollte schon bei Meinungsfreiheit Sachen
Počekamo te, brate.
Man muss abwägen, vielleicht liege ich mit
Požuri to, brate.
Stellen wir uns mal vor, es gibt keine Meinungsfreiheit, das wäre ziemlich scheiße. Ja,
Čekamo te ja, Bobby i Krpeš, brate, da ih pobijemo sve. Ajde, brate.
Hey, Boss, ich hol dich raus. Da, Red Bull, der verleiht Flügel. Lüge. Sehr witzig.
Was mit mir passiert ist? Du würdest es nicht glauben, wenn ich dir sage.
Affen jagen Menschen.
Das ist falsch.
Nächstes, du es zerstören kannst, mein Königreich.
Didn't watch this movie. Never. Oh, Schatzi, you need to watch this from the first one. You need to watch this from the first one, Schatzi. Oh, you didn't watch The Planet of Apes. Oh. You need to watch this. It's really good. It's really good.
He ended. Is Vico still alive? Oh, Vico. Veno, sorry, not Vico.
I just want to see him for a nap.
You're not half an hour. Yeah. What do you think of him? What do you think of him?
Has he not got a trim?
Nah, he doesn't have a trim right now.
Okay, cool.
8,000 viewer buff for France.
Who said that?
Pink. Team Dreads.
Pink's got dog dreads.
Clicks Epic are gonna win another Strat, Venom, Blood in the Call, Trust. I don't know, man. I'm not sure about
Hvala, boli ga uvo, brate.
Oh, you got a 16,000. Oh, yeah, he gets raided by the Orgo, and I'm pretty sure, right? All right. Let's see. Are the last games done? There's one game left that just got won by... Okay, that was the last game. So K's and Script won the last game with 117 points in total. Nebs and iDrop...
Nema više gameova, ajmo da vidimo, ovo je lower, jel tako? Jeste. Ajmo da vidimo ko je top 30. 297 poena je trebalo. CZB i Nathan lagani, Hrisi Skvi, to su bili Hrisi Skvi u tom gameu, bili su 5 sa 4. Hrisi Skvi su kvalali upper bracket. Hrisi Skvi su kvalali i vratili su upper bracket. I to je to. Ovi ovdje su zadnji. 297. Kino i Noareli nisu. Ajar Buffo nije. Au, Nep Sidrop nisu. Kakva imena su ispušila. Milad nije. Lowkick QB nije, brate. Darm Raksi nije. Riki Zara nisu. Miša, nažalost, nije. Kairi Gripi nije, brate. Pixel nije. Brate mili. Skyjump i Ryzen nisu. Gabix i Ark nisu. Koliko njih ispušilo. Boaz i Siren nisu. Skajdun i Šajkoz nisu. Naravno, Savage i Mongral. Jebik. Revsgad i Hellfire, 206. Grold Syned. Mnogo velikih imena nije uspelo, brate. Mnogo velikih imena nije uspelo. Steno i Livše. Kirjaši Default. Kenny Vaske 122. 168. Zadnja dva gejma su umrli 42. sa 0. I Kenny Vaske nisu uspeli. Garantujem da će Vaske baci neki tweet zajeban. Andiz nije uspeo 126. I znamo za Overa i Levija 56 poena. Loše danas, loše. Eto, to je top 30 koji su otišli u upper bracket. Materiju, nisu se naši danas proslavili baš. Naši se danas nisu baš proslavili ni malo. Što ti, sine, ne spavaš pola danas? Vidim da si umoran mnogo. Si završio sve na Markovom akantu? Can get Ronaldo there, never mind. Yeah, imagine we get Ronaldo, you didn't play. And I heard today Ronaldo, everyone packed from challenge mode. Fuck. Hey, go bring me the phone, I want to see the league. What is going with the league? Go bring me the phone. Gde si, krpež? Čekamo Joksija, brate, dok odigra neke Zone Wars. A, u kolu si, dobro. Never mind. Start playing there. Give me the phone. Odigrajte vi jednu, pa čekam i Bobby ne znam gdje je otišao, pobegao, brate. I Bobby mi pobegao, brate. Čekaj da refresham. Tu je Bobby. Čekaj da refresham Fortnite, brate. Vjerojatno će da mi bude 10 FPS. Koliko sam svega upalio i šta sam upalio. Ma popravim ja FPS, pa opet crkne, pa popravim, pa crkne. Sve moj sin dođe tu igra. Alex, uništi mi sve. Let me see, what is this? Jens Henry. Fuck is Jens Henry? Sad ćemo da vidimo se. They are waiting. Sata i 15 minuta. Čekaju sine i onda će da uključe cheat i to je to. Da, svi mora da odigraju sad. Amar mora da odigra, Boki. Znači Amar i Boki. A kod njih samo će da uključe cheat na kraju i to je to. Kod njih je pola odigralo. A Joksi, brate. Vidiš, ovaj dao 23. Kod nas niko nije zajebao. 33, 31, 34, 31, 35, 33, 33. Filip dao 37, ubio. Jedino da Mirko zajebao. Lonac 34. Odlično smo mi odigrali svi. Samo ovaj ovdje 23, ovaj 28, 28. Šta ovog čekaju? Yeah, we're waiting on him. Yeah. 99 overall. Cheater. Vidiš ti to, sin? Yeah. But I know the last one. Cheater, a? Hm? Da, znam ga i ja. Aron. On pobedio Arona. Hehehe. Kakvi cheater. No idea, but so we have two cheaters, Chris and this Jaramillo. Kako prošao Guli danas? Ne znam, pitaj majku. Pitaj mamu. Armin prošao najebo, brate. Armin najebo, brate. Scoring only 12. Scoring only 12. 12, 12. Vidjet ćemo sino šta će da bude. Još 3 sata do kraja, ti treba da ideš da spavaš se. Jedan drop. Sine, umoran si, baš si umoran. Dobro, ako nisi, super, idi odigraj challenge mode. Aha, pa vidiš. Bobby! Krpež, hoće li taj Joksi, brate? To aki se. Timo Selik, dobro. Dobro, lepo od njega, brate. Vitaminski, brate. Ja, sad on u Zone Warse tek sad ide, brate. On tek sad ide u Zone Warse, brate. Ok, da vidim nešto. A new light ball. Šta sine? It's a joke, shots, it's a joke. Because I'm joking. Zašto sino stavljaš vrat otvoren da ide dim tamo? Šta ti treba sino, ti treba nešto? Šta je sad bilo? Roxy, šta je bilo, brate? Šta je sad sa Joxijom, brate? Ma ne znam, šta ne znaš, jel igraš, jel završeno, ćemo da igramo? Gdje si, bre, Niko? Kako Partizan, kako Barcelona, dobro ove godine, a? Rodilo, brate, jeli? Sad ulazite, jao. Pa Žiko, čoveče, propade ti više, ej. Propade iz godine u godinu, namuči se. Unmute na Discordu. Kakvom Discordu, brate? Kaži me kakvom Discordu? Kolu. Ja nisam ni u kakvom kolu, brate. Čekaj da proverim, brate, otkud ja u kolu? Šta radim ja ovde? Evo ja ću da livam, a vas dvojica, brate, ispričajte se. Čekaj sekundu. Sad ću da vas unmutam ja. Ne, ode Duksina. Ode Duksina, brate. Taman da ga unmutam, on ode. Evo me, Hašime, brate. Kako nemaš rol? Imaš rol, bre, brate. Kako nemaš rol? Ček da vidimo. Role. Imaš rolu, Team Friend, šta zebavaš? Imaš jaku rolu. Mile, si gledao Denver? Jesam, Žiko. Imaš role, Team Friend, brate moj. Imaš rolicu, brate. To je baš jaka rola. Jeste, mute si ga. To, veki. OKC 52 dala specija na poluvremenu. Jebeno, brate, mnogo jebeno između njih, ej. Ali nekako ti kažem, smučio mi se taj OKC, brate. Smučio mi se. Baš mi se smučio. A, brate, Denver jebeno. Jebeno. I sad mi dalje čekamo Joxija, brate, koji 3 sata ne može da odigra Zone Warse, brate. Pa da li je ovo moguće, brate? Zero build. Ranked. On. Wow. Da vinem sa 40 sad. Jesi siguran, brate? Čekaj, moram joystick bolje. Moram joystick, brate, ovaj drift. Joystičići. Da ne drifta uopšte. To je to. Gde su krpeži Bobi, brate? Dokle ćemo mi više čekamo tog Joxija, brate? Da li je on normalan? Bobi, aj se bre zagrevamo, ej. Aj se zagrevamo koga jebe, brate. Pa lako je tebi, a ja ne zagrejan, posle ja loš, brate. Ajde upadaj, brate, se zagrejamo, ne vredi ovo, brate. Ja da ga čekam, brate, on sad kao krenuo, sad tek Zone Warse, ko zna šta rade tamo. Da li se jebu, ko zna šta rade, brate. Jebu Armina, ko zna. Kaže, kovina 3 uzeo je. Pa to, koliko će to da traje, brate? Ko to igra, brate? A samo trojice igraju. A, pa dobro. Onda bi to trebalo brzo, brate. Onda bi to trebalo brzo. Pa ništa, odo ja jedan off. Odo ja jedan off da se zagrejem, brate. Fino, Džoksi prvu rundu. Tako je, brate. Tako je, tako i treba, brate. Da se zna ko kosi, a ko vodu nosi. Idemo. Aj, Mile, pokaži svoje umeće, iako si nezagrejan. Ne, umirem mi, brate, imam 40 FPS-a, pa ne može, brate, ne može. Ne, brate, gotovo je to. Pa šta je više u pičku materin? Pičku lepu materin. Čekaj čas. Ugasim ja stream na YouTube, a u pičku materin.